Hello.
What's up, people?
Oh, squishy.
Yo.
Hey.
Howdy. Hi.
Mm-hmm. You do the thing
Yep.
where you put my picture inside of our show right now so that everyone can see
What picture?
I sent it to...
What picture am I putting? Oh, you sent it. Okay.
I sent it to Lav, and I would like you to see the picture.
Yeah, I got it.
But, okay, so you'll send it to me? Why didn't you send it to me if you wanted me to show everybody?
Well, because Lav was like, can you send it to me? And then later I was like, well, now it's not going to go in the show. Whoops.
Oh, my goodness. Oh, my goodness.
Thank
Oh, my
you for
goodness.
the hype train. Hype. I just wrote that song.
Hey, everybody. We're waiting to be sent a picture for you guys to see. Oh, no. Lucy, it's nice to see you.
Oh, hello.
Lucy, the 50th, the 63rd? Is that the 63rd? Thank you for subbing. We have a hype train. Thank you for resubscribing on X Love. You are beloved. Thank you for resubscribing for 18 goddamn months, Paladin. Oh my God. At some point, this is going to go on long enough that y'all going to make me feel old. Guys, look at the most beautiful Mother's Day gift in the world. If you were a mother, wouldn't you love this Mother's Day gift? Wouldn't you think that you have such a great child?
I don't see it. Is it even there? Is it anything? Is
it anything?
Anything?
Is this the real life? Is this just fantasy? I always love to consider how much is a sub? I don't know how much anything is. I buy subs to people I raid sometimes as a little gifty, and I have never paid attention to how much I paid because I'm irresponsible and I don't think.
That's terrible.
Thank you, Cappy Ryan. Cappy Ryan, right? Where do we find out that info? These are great questions.
I literally have to
I think you go to buy it and they tell you.
Everyone always asks me, oh, hey, where did you get that thing? And I'll be like, oh, here. And they'll be like, how much is it? And I'll be like, monies.
I'm glad I inherited this, honestly. Yeah, people are like, oh, how much did you buy this for? And I'm like, I don't, like, whenever people talk about like, oh, I found this on sale, I'm like, yeah. That's crazy that you can look for those. And they're like, yeah, I was looking through the coupons and I found this coupon for this item. And I'm like, wait, you can consider the price of an object before buying it. I'm capitalism's best victim because if I want something, I just go, well, I guess that amount of my spending money is going towards this, whatever amount they've decided.
is it's so immature. I do it all the time. It's not like I have infinite monies to spend. No.
Like I do run out of money because of this.
It's like I want to fool myself into thinking I have so much money I never need to know about money.
Thank you, KPC, for gifting a sub.
And I'm like, I don't want to look and think about how much money's out of my monies that is. I just got it.
It's funny because anytime I do check, I'm far less likely to buy something, whether it's a high or low price, because I'll go, oh yeah, let me think this through. And so maybe it's a defense mechanism so that I actually buy stuff I've learned to not consider. Obviously, I think about how expensive things are if they're big. Like I think about things like appliances, if I've got to buy a fridge or whatever.
Oh my
God. Would uninstall DoorDash because of this? Same. Yeah.
I get really, I don't have DoorDash. I'm not that silly. I am not the mature level of DoorDash. That's not my level of maturity. I am the mature level of not DoorDash 100%. I would be eating out every minute of the day. I'd be like, be good for breakfast?
Yep.
Have it in my house.
So today we have a plan. Guys, the plan for now, we're going to ramble. We're going to chat with you. Then we're going to do a live read because people said this chapter is a big deal. And by people, only one person, and it's just Cricket. And based off of how many posts I haven't clicked on that mention Brooke, and the fact that Cricket's the only one who told us this is an important chapter, I've come to the conclusion that this is probably a Brooke-related chapter. Yes. Ever since we started reading live, I don't click on spoilered images from the One Piece Reddit or the One Piece memes Reddit. Okay, people are agreeing with Cricket. Okay, great. People are agreeing. Brooke gets to see underpants. Brooke's been in front of your girl Gunko for a while now. He's gotten to see underpants just because that lady don't own pants.
Yeah, it is true. She doesn't own a lot of pants. And you know what? She's very tall, and it's not her fault. If
Yeah.
I was that tall, though, I might invest in some of those, like, little volleyball shorts or something to go.
It's actually really sad to be that rich and not own any pants. Like, you'd think someone that rich could buy pants.
Yes.
This chapter requires surgical examination. We should probably jump in so that we can get done before Goofy joins us at 2:30, huh?
On a stick. Can I just tell you that the Botokuri maid cafe would be really great if all the girls weren't maids?
I'm sorry. I don't know if you know this, but like that's kind of the shtick. That's like maid cafes.
No, listen to me.
You understand like the core premise.
Hear me out. The dudes are maids.
Mm-hmm.
Way better.
Okay.
I'm already more excited.
Yeah, they have those. They're called well, they don't do maids, but they do butlers. It's called host clubs, and it's boys dressed as butlers who serve girls and act all like fancy servants.
I want them in these dresses.
I have to be real, that has to exist. Every type of I'm gonna use the word because it's the easiest way. I'm going to use a word because it's the easiest way to explain it.
Thank you, Lucy.
Every type of fetishization you can imagine, there is a cafe for in Tokyo or Kyoto. Like you want your boys in dresses cafe? Almost certainly it exists.
No,
yeah, but that probably exists.
I don't want random. Oh my god!
Thank you. Holy shit, Ozzy Lelowin, are you starting a new hype train? Gifted 5 tier 1 subs?
Ozzy was like a hype train without me. Bullshit.
Hey guys, can hype train level 4 complete?
I am Ozzy the hypenator. Ooh, hypenator. I like.
Oh my god! Thank you so much. No, but like anything you can think of, Japan has a cafe for almost certainly. Okay, but like for real. No, the Muscle Mommy exists. Short Boy Cafe exists. Tall Girl Cafe exists. For my preference, you have the Thick Girl Cafe. Except I feel really uncomfortable with public objectification, so I say for my preference, but actually I'd really hate being there.
Okay, but listen, I want to see. Yeah? I want to see Itara Oda make me Luffy, Sanji, Zoro, and Usopp all in maid cafe outfits. That's all I'm looking for here. Lucy is on my side.
Is that so?
Yeah, ask Lucy.
You've seen fan art of Zoro in a maid dress and honestly worked for him.
I did too. Where did I see that? Oh,
let me think.
I saw that make sense somewhere.
Here's the thing, guys. Here's the thing. I know the fan base that we have, and I am aware, and this is going to sound homophobic, but the reason it's not is that I'm right. There are a lot of queer people that mistake this confronts and tackles gender norms in an interesting way. They confuse that with this looks good. So I'm trying my best to really think in my head, do I actually think Zoro pulls off a maid dress?
He does.
Or do I think it's, once again, queer people promising me that it does, and it's like, I'm sorry. You say it's a crazy statement. Every community has its flaws, and I have had a lot of queer people try to tell me that a man is pulling off a dress that he's not pulling off just because they think it's fun.
Have you ever work with me?
I've also seen men pull off dresses.
Work with me and listen to me. There's a dude, he works in a works in space, for space. It was a long time ago I saw this. Anyways, he wears full suit tops, jacket, tie, etc. And then he always wears a different level of like pencil skirt and heels. And they're like sensible square heels. And he is cishet. And he is a super, super intelligent person. And they said to him, why are you doing this? Blah, blah, blah. And by intelligent person, I mean someone who gets an amazing job and works in a very, very competitive field. And he said, and I quote, I have really good legs.
I respect that energy a lot. I want to make it clear. I'm not saying that the men in dresses are going to always look bad. I'm just saying I have seen people who will say it always looks good when it doesn't. Now, Banin suit with blocky heels. That actually sounds good. We're saying Sanji pulls it off. I've actually been trying to debate whether Sanji or Zoro would pull it off more, and I'm imagining two versions. I'm imagining the more likely version where they look uncomfortable because they've been coerced into this. In that situation, I think embarrassed, uncomfortable Sanji looks cuter than embarrassed, uncomfortable Zoro. But when I imagine them actually trying to pull it off, that's a difference because Sanji's got the nicer legs, and obviously the classic sexy maid dress got a lot of leg showing. But Zoro, as people have pointed out, does have the titties. And the maid dress, if it's a maid dress with a short skirt, it's going to Sanji. If it's a maid dress with a long skirt and a bustier, it's going to Zoro. That's what I'm saying, you know? Because there's a lot of designs of the classic sexy maid gown you can go for. Sanji does have the snatched waist. That's true. Zoro got a bit of the power lifter waist, which so he doesn't got the cinched figure as much. What do you think? Who would pull it off better?
I have seen, and I think it was when I was hanging out on Melante's channel that I saw the person who did the picture of Sanji in the maid outfit, and it was
right.
really good. It was just a really good look for him, and I think that's why I'm obsessed with seeing it. If I'm going to be honest, I think it was because of that.
The thing is, here's why Sanji in a maid outfit doesn't feel right to me. And it's not because it wouldn't look good. It's because I think almost no one could pull off a butler suit as well as Sanji.
Yeah, but he's a man of many looks.
Oh, Paths resubscribed. I missed that. Thank you, Paths. We got the level 5 hype train before it died. Like, butler coated Sanji feels like he's a man of many looks, but it feels like those two conflict so much. You know, the maid and the butler are different. They're different sides of the same coin. Sanji in suit. We got to move on, guys. We can't just talk about gender non-conforming clothing and which of our lemon lime boys, which of the Sprite boys are more attractive within these outfits. We truly cannot become lost in the Sprite boys sauce.
I did find my man, though, in case you guys want to look it up.
All right, do you want to send it to me?
I absolutely can. He's not wrong either. I found a Bored Panda one, but he's all over the internet. This just happens to be the first one that I found. Okay. I'm going to tell you right now.
You have to send it to me on Discord, to the Drawk Discord.
Drawk Discord.
Oh, also, everybody, I'm going to advertise this real quick while we're in the rambly part. Actually, I'll do this after this part. Well, see, I want to do it. Yeah, no, Mama sent it, so I'll do it after. I'll do it in a second. So this is the man who wears the sensible heel.
Sometimes he does.
Yeah, you know.
Put him up. Because here, he's wearing some fly heels. Like, honestly, make him bigger. And this is just him in Bored Panda. We have lots where they did an interview with him in some magazine. And I think he kills it.
He does have nice legs. He's not wrong.
It's not wrong.
He's for sure not wrong that he has nice legs.
Dude, his butt and his legs in that blue skirt.
He does have a good butt, for real.
Where he's just like this is
a fit dude.
Yeah, he's killing it. I'm not gonna lie. He rocks a skirt. He's just a het dude.
Hey, okay. Look. I feel like there's only so much you can wear a skirt and stilettos and be like, yeah, at the very least, you're like me, which is what I call queer straight, where you are straight, but you belong in queer culture. You are not straight if you're doing this, you know? Like, and for anyone who's saying that's not a thing, queer straight is a thing, and you know it's a thing. You know the difference between a straight couple and a queer straight couple, and you can say that's not real, but you visualized something when I said both of those things, so fuck it if I'm not right.
Anyways, I want to tell you his name so that you guys can all go and look him up, because he wears some very good looks, and if you were interested, then his name is Mark Bryan. He's 63.
Damn. I'll be real. I don't love the middle one. I feel like the silhouette is kind of off. The colors are a bit drab.
Similar one, but it was pinstriped, and then he had a really low pair of heels, and it was so good. That one was better.
Love you guys so much. Shall I put this train back on the tracks?
Nah, we're good. We're getting there.
Well, I'm going to advertise and then we're going to get into it. Paladin, you can't count down. We haven't done anything yet. Paladin, stop. We can't do a plug before anything's happened. Although I'm going to plug one thing, which is, hey guys, if you have any interest in the game Clair Obscur, it is so fucking cool. I did a non-spoiler stream where I just talked a bit about the story. I have a painting I'm making for the video, and I am going to be making my first ever video essay about this. I have been putting so many hours of work into it already. This scratches the itch in my brain for meta-narrative discussion more than any other piece of media I think I've come across, at least in recent years. If you are okay with spoilers or you've played the game, please tune in on Tuesday where I'm going to do my spoiler discussion and go into why this is such a meta-narrative victory of storytelling. Holy crap. I'm going to be recording footage for the video tomorrow for hours and hours straight. I'm going to get the video essay up as soon as possible. I don't know how soon as possible is going to be, because in what I know from people who do video essays, they usually take like a month to work on one. Who knows? I might just be built different, and it won't take a month. We'll see what's up. Yeah,
I thought he was here at 2:30.
Yeah, no, it's all good.
Okay, good. Let's do it.
Yeah, we just need to finish in time. Let's get to the chapter. I just wanted to give a little plug because it's gonna be. I'm just so excited for it. You know, okay. I'm so fucking excited for this video. All right. Okay. I am going to open.
I first.
But I'm not there yet.
I first.
Okay. Sure.
Okay.
Give me a second here.
Here we go. Oh! What? All the characters say. First,
we should probably do the thing where we like introduce. Yo, we're starting. This is 11:49 English dub, color page. Everyone's. Oh, it is a maid cafe. That's where you're talking about it. That's cute. Okay. All right. Now it's your. Now we go. Now we go.
You weren't even on that page, so you couldn't possibly have judged.
Yes, I was trying to tell you that.
I eat you. Anyways,
that's what I was trying to explain.
Ah, Usopp. It worked on him. What did he do? I'm rusty. Whoosh, whoosh, whoosh.
So
goes around.
This is Gamon cutting off his hand. I want to talk about something that pisses me off here. You ready?
Yep.
I wanted to make a video about, I was going to make an emergency stream about how I believe what was managing to harm them was the power of love. And I felt so confident in it. And then Grand Line Review, the day I was going to like do a sudden surprise stream to talk about it, Grand Line Review did a video where he's like, I think it's the power of love, mate. And that's why it's happening. And I was, fucking hell, shit, fuck, God damn it. He came up to the same correct conclusion.
Come along, Grand Line. What do you got to be like that for? Carry on.
Oh, mate, it's definitely the power of love, right? Get to the Ute. We're heading to the One Piece. I think it's very funny to pretend.
It is right there.
I think it's very funny to pretend GLR sounds like that.
Love a sleeping time.
All right. Scopper Gabon, twirl his axe. He prepare. We read about Scopper Gabon today for our reread. That's cool. He prepare. He grit his teeth. Thorn salutation, says our good. Wait. That's not what the voice I was using for our boy Thorn man. Thorn salutation blocks the attack. Mountain Eater, what are you doing in Elbath? Remember double spread, so I keep going.
Ugh.
Let's not get bogged down with boring questions. What? You met him at the castle? This is Usopp. I didn't notice for a second. That's Usopp voice. He goes, yeah. Okay. Yeah, he was totally pushing Luffy and Zoro around. He's a father of the boy at school named Colin. That old man is. If I didn't mishear, he might be Scopper Gabon. That's Rob talking. Everybody's still wrapped up. Jinbei time. He's the
start of the King of the Pirates, counterpart to Rayleigh.
What's he doing in the land of giants? His attacks are doing damage, but how? That's Chopper hiding in the beard, just so people know what's happening. Crackly Mike.
Yeah,
did the Crackly Mike come back?
But also,
oh my god! I fixed it before we started.
Did you just eat my face? What the hell was that? Now there's no mic. There's no mic, and it's the Mama Show, and Mama tells you where to go. Today, everybody, we're gonna go into One Piece land. Get on the boat. Let's go. Do. We're all gonna beat people up. He could put his finger up all day long, but we're out of here, baby. We're out of here. Okay, so now we have Robin. I can't move, but I can still help from this distance.
I think people might have been confused and thought my voice filter was the mic failing. I'm realizing now.
No, it got crinkly.
Oh, it got crinkly? Okay.
Carry on. I already did that.
Robin, he uses thorns of iron. Your hand-to-hand blows aren't suited for fighting him.
Oh my god.
I mean, yeah, it is a bad matchup, but for sure.
Satan came out of his mouth. Here we go. Thorn Hunt and Crimson Lotus Hell. Watch your step.
Dude.
There's no safe passage. Listen,
This dude's attacks have such metal fucking names.
Crimson Lotus Hell? Yeah. Here we go. Listen, I'm in a hurry. Whoo, 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 whoo. Slice, slice, slice. Come on, then. Oh, no. Act sympathy.
Hey,
They
Hey, I don't know if
in half.
I don't know if old man Jeff Bridges is aware of this, but that's not how it's supposed to go. You're not supposed to get cut in half. That's not
Sliced his whole head off. Right to under his
yeah, and he's bleeding actually. Well, this is the first time in One Piece we've seen someone sliced and it looks like there's blood. Every other time we've seen someone sliced.
Can I just say it might be a lightning thing, less blood, but can I also say you made me bleed my own blood?
It might be lightning, but look at the second one. It definitely looks like it's the lightning cracklies in the big one, but the little one, the little panel, that looks like blood because it's coming. It's the same as what's coming out of his mouth.
Whoa! Look out! I'm coming, Colin. Everyone is staring at him cut in half, and they all do the oh my god, Usopp's got on his hit sugar in the face look. I love that.
Also, it's my turn, so I'm coming, Colin.
No,
just
my turn for life.
Jinbei, Nami, Usopp. What? He beat him, and then Chopper goes. This exclamation mark noises. It's like, where are you going, Chopper? Ouch! 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 He was able to slice a guy who's immortal. That's got to be a crucial secret. I'm so glad Chopper's on the ball enough. He's like, look, I could untie you guys, but finding out how to fight these dudes is probably going to be important for our crew, considering we just fought immortal regenerating bastards last goddamn week. Like 2 fucking days ago, we had to deal with this.
Look at the world where all the children are asleep and everything is hanging from the sky. It's so peaceful before people get chopped. Good. Well done. Is this yours?
You forgot a double spread. Yeah, this one's mine. It's double pages. It's double pages how they work. Yeah.
Get out of here.
Good. Well done.
You know who you sound like? That sounded like my favorite D&D story.
What?
Yeah, I don't feel like getting into it.
Adventure Zone? Yep. Garfield from Adventure Zone?
Yes.
Okay, weird.
How do you know I meant Garfield?
You've proven yourself obedient. That's all we needed to see. I'll take care of the other building.
And he readies his bow to fire.
My turn.
Yep, it is.
Fire goes up the building onto the tree. Look at the burn. Oh, the library, says Robin. No, it's not your fault, Chief Gerald. The words of our forefathers, all of our history. It's killing Ham. The fire is burning. Come back, child. Why aren't you happy? The child starts crying. I'm sorry. I'm sorry that I'm still alive. I'm sorry that everything's burning. No, Rania, because of me. It's not your fault, Rania.
Oh, I feel so bad for her. Oh, no.
I think it's your turn.
Culture, history, children, troops. You don't have the right to take any of these things away. A crewmate of the King of the Pirates. That's Coppercaban charging up, and now it's Gunko responding. You realize that resistance means the deaths of these hostages.
Oh, it's Mr. Ya! Colin, Mr. Ya is here. Huh? He came to save us.
Don't speak up, Colin. Don't do it.
Daddy! That's my daddy, everybody! Guess what? He's stronger than anyone! He's gonna save us all! Yay!
And now, here we are with Scopper being like, "Ah, you fucking dumbass! Now they're gonna want to kill you. You fucking shit! Fucking oh my god, you dumb kid! Jesus!"
He's like, "I'm so glad you're proud of me, you idiot." Here we go.
Yeah,
No!
fuck.
So you don't mind?
You do realize that they killed like 800 children to try to get the Roger's son. You think? Oh my god, kid! Fuck.
Here we go. So you don't mind if I kill him? That's what I take.
That's a good Gunga voice. I like that.
That's what I take from your response. This is my final chance. There's still time to put out the fire in the library. I can save the children and Elbath in the process, as long as it's instant. Hang in there, Colum. Give me 1 second. You're a big, strong boy now, Colum cries. Okay, Daddy, I'm a warrior. So beat this creep.
Aww.
Be strong if you get hurt. I'll make you sure you survive. A life once lost will never return. Look out, Colin. This is your son, Mr. Ya. He's so adorable and huge. What a gift you've given me, Ripley. My lifelong treasure. I was just thinking today when we were rereading Orangetown how much I wanted him to bring back the idea of treasure because he doesn't use it as much anymore. And here we are. Please be safe, Colin. She sticks something into his neck. It's the big, long jousting thing.
It's like a lance?
Yeah, it's like a lance. I have to put a stop to this before things spiral out of control, says Gapper Gabong. Carry on.
Colin
goes, "Nah!" And
this is in a future that our good boy Mr. Ya has seen, basically realizing he's not going to make it in time with future sight.
I'll be strong.
Oh no, Colin, don't do it. I yield. I'm sorry, Elbath. Feeble, frail thing. She fires her arrow guns at him, and the arrows stab through him. I'm sorry, Colin. It must have hurt. I'm sorry. This goes into what you were talking about, where people talk about getting strength from children, but the fear of letting their kids get hurt is exploitable. It's making them controllable by the world government. And I think this is an intentional political message by Oda about how, like, when things are stable and peaceful and you've been able to build a family and a life, it's much easier for you to be controlled by authoritarianism because you've so much at stake. There's so much you would lose if you fought back. We see one of the world's strongest men being absolutely destroyed here. Yeah, dragon stocks kind of are rising, Miguel, because we're actually seeing a point here that, like, if he was close to Luffy, he wouldn't be able to fight. He wouldn't, like, one of the world's strongest men just got downed by fucking pantsless McGee over here, all because it was easy to threaten his child.
And it's something that I've talked about a lot, is that there's a lot of reasons why people want to, they're not pro-life, because if they were pro-life, they'd also have, like, you know, daycare and affordable housing and proper food costs and healthcare, etc. They're pro-birth. And the reason, one of the reasons is being able to control people, tie them to jobs, tie them to lives they might not be interested in, because they got to protect their children, and it's easy to manipulate people who are trying to protect their children.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, now do the sad part.
He's all stabbed up. Then we see Colin.
Daddy! Daddy! Daddy!
Aww.
And Mr. Ya goes, yow!
My turn. Here we go.
Yeah, it is.
Daddy! Mr. Ya! Daddy! Father! What is this memory? Says Pantsless McGee.
Oh, Chopper jumped after him. I did miss that. I realized he was jumping. That's
Good for you, Chopper.
Good job, Chopper.
You're a good boy. You're a good boy and an excellent doctor, Sir Chopper. What is this memory? Says Pantsless McGee. Oh, well, it's my dream to be a what the fuck am I seeing right now?
Oh, what the fuck? Yeah.
What am I seeing right now? Well, it's my dream to be a pirate, you see. The resemblance is uncanny. To think of a way to escape. Wait a minute. It's such a big thing, it goes over. Pardon me, Brooke? Are you Brooke? And then it goes
Oh
back
my
over.
god.
What is taking so long? Ow! Great emu! At this moment, the Holy Land is a sea of fire. Ah! What happened to her? She looks so scary now. We need greater numbers. And then it goes to Pantsless McGee's face. Allow me to show you the
Sorry, that's specifically allow Moo.
Allow Moo to show you the dominance of God. And it just shows her face
So
all
I
blacked out.
So I think Gunko's being taken over by Emu here. But
What?
yeah, so Chad is debating if this is Brooke's daughter or Yorkie's daughter, which I think with her seeming to be blonde, that also
She
makes a
looks
lot of
like
sense.
She would be a Yorkie's daughter, given her coloring.
Yeah.
And I'm loving the takeover.
This is gonna be, oh man.
Damn, boy.
This is an interesting one. There's been a lot of
Stitchies,
chapters
we're
of just
gonna
things
eat
progressing.
well tonight.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, let me look.
What?
Well, we know he's alive because Chopper saved him, so that was nice. I really enjoyed that part.
I feel like something interesting has happened. Well, I feel like the power of love is stopping Summers from regenerating, but it didn't actually get rid of his immortality. It looks like he's still alive here. He's saying ow, and he's impaled through the fucking brain. So I think the power of love, he can't regenerate from the cut he got from the power of love attack, but he's still immortal.
Are they gonna put parts of his body on other things, and he's gonna be a robot? Or is he?
Who the fuck knows? Or maybe Emu's gonna stitch him back together with like a shadow thread.
Yep. Oh,
No.
baby. I
mean, the power of love would be awesome. Sanji might become the strongest Straw Hat, but what if that's just it? What if he learns love hockey instead of conqueror's hockey? What if his compassion literally becomes his strength, like Sora mentioned?
Think about, not except, but in addition to, think about his time with
Iva pitches the power of love all the time.
Exactly. So if you think of Ivankov and how he went to that island, he would have already been taught the power of love, working with his power of love. It's power of love squared, really.
Yep. That makes sense. So the power of love could be Sanji's power up while Zoro and Luffy are working with Conqueror's hockey.
Yeah. Also, when I went back today into Orangetown, let's just say I'm 100% on. Can't wait to find out what Nami is.
Can I just say Nami's having a good time out here.
Nami's having a great time out here, and she is a thing. What is that thing?
Oh man.
All right.
What?
That thing is like a weather witch or something, but she's got a different level of hockey.
All right, I mean, you can do as you will.
I don't even know if it's hockey. She forced a storm to come out in.
She didn't. She just knew it was coming. She prepped it. She was like, "This is where I'll do my trap because of the cold front. I got this happening."
Convenient weather storm ever. She lays on her boat, just happens to sit there pretending to be dead, and then the world's most convenient storm happens. Come on. No. Baby's got.
So
storm.
It looks like Emu taking over these guys' bodies and hypercharging them is going to be how we get our escalation. That's going to require the monster trio and Loki to get involved instead of it just being the weaker Straw Hats. But I'm glad the weaker Straw Hats are getting their time to shine and are being involved at this level before we're getting that. It's interesting how Oda takes it so seriously. Like, it doesn't feel like he always comes up with artificial ways to shelve the strong, what you'd call NPCs around him. Like, Scopper Gabon was here slicing and dicing, being tough as fuck, being a problem for the bad guys. He didn't Oda wasn't like, we're going to find the Scopper proof box to keep him in for the entire. I just want to put, when people say ad, it feels wild to me. Like, we talk through the ads. Like, we've been doing that for like a year now. Like, we're not going to stop saying ad.
I like knowing they're happening.
You do? Okay. You know what? If you like, then I won't. Then I won't.
just
Then
kinda like
people keep it up.
I like to know they're happening. I got stuck in Ad Hell and Melon Teas, and I gotta tell you, I would have liked people to know I was there, so they knew why I wasn't talking. Melon
You know
Tea,
what?
Melon Tea
Fair
asked me a
enough.
question, and then it went ads. I was like,
That's funny.
God damn it.
Melon gave me some
advice.
advice for my Claire Obscure essay. It was nice. We had a good way to talk about it. It was helpful.
Oh, I like that. You know what I was going to say that's really interesting is a couple of things that make me nervous about this one. I'd just been thinking when we were looking at Orangetown about how he used to talk about treasure all the time in the beginning of One Piece and how it was kind of a really big deal and it was really part of it. And then he stopped. And then I was like, when he starts talking about treasure again, I bet we're almost done. And boom, we have a panel in here where he talks about treasure. And it made me think about how he's doing this like kabuki theater where the first 3 acts are very slow and lingering and then it has an abrupt ending. So then it got me very nervous. That's what I have to say about that. Ozzy Lalloway.
Something that I've started to notice that thank you for the gifted sub to Sam. That's funny. Something that I've been noticing lately that I find fun is it feels like we picked the right time to do a One Piece reread, where at this point it feels like you kind of should be going back through One Piece at the same time that you're reading weekly. Yep. And the reason for that is we are finally at the point where the storylines are tying back together and every little piece of value from the entire series is being reiterated upon throughout the current chapter releases. So it feels like you get so much value rereading right now.
It's
like all of the revelations I'm having.
Because it's been so long.
Yes, it's been a long time. But like I feel like all of the revelations I'm having about how altered things are by where we're at have been from Egghead or to a lesser extent Elbaf. Like Egghead has reframed so much of the series by tying everything back in and beginning this spear towards the end. Do you take channel recommendations? If you want to send it to us on the Discord, that's a good idea. Just make sure you tag us, because otherwise we won't notice because it's hard to keep up with. Elbaf has also turned out to be a convergence point of storylines. That is true. Oh, man.
I need to pull this apart a little bit more because the dancing with Brook somewhere, it looks like on land, not on boat.
Yep.
Also makes
that could be the rail of a boat, but I agree.
It also makes me wonder if we're wrong about the Yorkie thing unless they were actually a couple, which would, to say it would make somebody happy is such an understatement.
Yeah, I think Cricket would be dead is the issue. I think Cricket would be so happy he'd die, and Oda, don't kill Cricket.
Oh my god, Oda might kill Cricket. This is awkward.
Oda might kill him. You can't do it.
So awkward. He's such a fan. Because in this one, they're dancing together, and it was when was she triggered? She was triggered when Colin kept screaming, "Daddy! Daddy! Father!"
Yeah, and it's making her think, it could be Yorkie's kid
out,
and they were in a relationship. It could be
but
that he's just his
out, Father. And then he goes, and then she goes, "What is this memory? Yo!" Well, it's my dream to be a pirate, you see. So, yeah.
Yeah, it's tough. It's tough. It could be this is Brooke's kid. It could be it's Yorkie's kid. It could be Yorkie's kid that he helped raise. There's a lot of options.
The mother could have been a blonde. I mean,
Are you Brooke?
You've seen how pale your aunt is, and her father is black.
Also, Oda, One Piece characters don't need to look that much like their parents all the time.
That's a very good point.
Oda, a lot of mangaka fall into a problem where they forget that people get to choose their own hairstyles and outfits, and like people don't just look like a palette swap of their kids. Naruto bugs me so much for this. Every single Naruto kid looks like what I would call a fan fiction kid. Fan fiction kid being, hey, we're just gonna like average out mixes of traits between the two characters that are their parents so that you can visibly tell as much as possible. Like, guys, you don't just see someone and then separately another time see their parent and you're like, oh yeah, I know for sure in my head that these are related because this is just the same guy but small. Like people in One Piece don't just look like palette swap, slightly altered versions of their parents most of the time, which frankly is good.
Can I tell you that on the Thorn Zoro with 9 swords, the thorns hurt like a son of a bitch. You actually have to be careful how you move it about.
The little aura slashes at his feet?
Yeah, they literally hurt you like a son of a bitch if you touch them. I'm getting my nailish polish because while we are talking today, I will be coloring my nails black. Black like my soul.
Now the thing is, do we, you know what? We can do the top 3. I just we've left ourselves a little bit of time to fill before we're going to start the dive into Orange Town.
Will you let me grab my nailish polish and then we'll do the top 3?
Yeah, of course. I'm gonna do some thumbnail faces for having Goofy on. You ready, guys? What's like a good expression? Thumbnail faces. A sentence of a bookworm is good at kids being a mix of their parents and the passing of traits. Look, passing a trait. Roger laughed. You can't do that in real life is like it looks bad. It looks bad. Give me a funny one. Buggy impersonation. Do a sobbing one. It'll be clickbait. Sobbing for Orangetown. I can't do that. I can't. Nothing would say. Shrug looking confused. Cry for Choo-Choo. Who do you think is attacking the Holy Land? I mean, there's 2 options. There's 2 options that make sense to attack the Holy Land. Blackbeard and Dragon. Right?
Are we attacking the Holy Land?
Well, something we both kind of glanced over is Emu's line is, what is taking so long? At this moment, the Holy Land is a sea of fire.
Oh, God,
we need greater numbers. Yeah, we did gloss past that. So it looks like right now the Holy Land is being attacked and Emu needs them to wrap up here so that he can get his soldiers back. We know the Revolutionary Army is messing with the Holy Land. However, we also know their plan was a siege so that they didn't need to directly fight the Holy Knights. I also think Blackbeard feels kind of likely. Like, the only 2 that it could be that we know have intentions of going after them are Blackbeard and the Revolutionary Army. And the Revolutionary Army have a political agenda, so a siege fits what they want.
Yeah. I hope it's
Blackbeard. They had an embargo. Not embargo. They have a siege.
Blackbeard not only makes sense, but it's time to bring Blackbeard in if we're looking to have Blackbeard in the end games as being a more important character.
Mm-hmm.
He has to step up and do something that's a little bigger.
What if it's Akai Inu raging? Honestly, a military coup would be so fucking based. That'd be so good. Sabo would cause fire. It could be Sabo. Sabo could be betraying the blockade. He's impetuous. He could be going for it and being like, who cares? Yes, Lafitte was watching one of the ports, and Katarina Devon has the ability to turn into Saturn, meaning that Blackbeard has the ability now to command the Seraphim, which is fucking crazy.
Where's the
here's a take.
Right. Where's the last time we saw Vivi?
Here's a take. Vivi?
Yeah.
Vivi's with Big News Morgans.
I know that, but where was the last place we saw them?
Still flying. We didn't know exactly where they were.
Interesting.
Here's the thing, guys. Oh yeah, Emu is standing right beside the kids through taking over your girl. Here's the thing to consider. I'm not saying this isn't a theory. I'm not saying this for sure. But let's say, right, the mural shows Emu teaming up with Zunesha, we think. Zunesha, we think, is a good guy who was willing to team up with a bad guy to help fight their enemy. Yeah, it's unlikely because Blackbeard destroyed the Revolutionary Army's base to steal their weapons. But I don't think it's impossible that Blackbeard, that the Revolutionary Armies, or specifically Sabo, would be fully unwilling to team up with Blackbeard. However, here's my thing. I think it feels like too much of a repeat for the RAs to attack the Holy Land a second time. So my vote is Blackbeard or the Blackbeard Pirates, with the Seraphim probably using Saturn, but who knows? It could be Akainu over responding also.
No.
We'll have to see. For now, top 3. Who is your number 1 character of this chapter?
I want to say Brooke, but it's the pantsless one.
I think if you say Brooke, you can say Brooke and Gunko because they're what make each other interesting.
It's the pantsless one with Brooke.
Okay. Number 2, Scopper Gaban. What if it's Eneru? Guys, I have to it could be Eneru, but don't you think that Akainu would kick the shit out of Eneru?
Yes, I would
like
that.
It's hard for me to imagine Eneru on his own, doing shit. Eneru got hockey now, though. Sure, bud, because Akainu doesn't. That's a thing that he doesn't have, for sure, bud.
Doesn't it seem odd that there's fire in Marajwa at the same time as fire is spreading around where we are?
Yeah, that's both the trees on fire at once.
So it feels like a sympathetic response that would require dealing with? Or like some kind of crossover?
Is there something to this?
You know, like you light one fire in one tree of life and the other one is also somehow being attacked at the same time since they're using different channels to do it. I mean, the Revolutionary Army would make sense. I think that
guys, I just like, I know you guys are saying Moon Tech Army Eneru. I don't want to say anything too ridiculous that will kill me, but I just want to say something that I will do to emphasize how shocked I will be. Like, a sympathetic reaction of the other world tree to this one being on fire, I feel like I buy into more than Eneru showing up with the moon people.
I agree. On the other hand, I do believe...
Shave my head. I'm not shaving my head. I have so much beautiful hair.
True enough. On the other hand, I do believe that the Revolution Army could show up, realize that 5 key players are gone, and decide to take advantage of it.
It could be.
Because obviously the fact that it was a rush says that Emu felt like the people left over couldn't handle the job on their own, which also makes you wonder, where the frickin' flap are the other elders.
I think it's very funny that Akainu is being used as a bouncer for Marijua these days.
A bouncer?
Yeah, he's just kicking people off.
I enjoy your thoughts, weirdo. I would love if there was some sort of sympathetic response. I think it would be fun to get a little bit magical realistic again. Since we're using some weird hell-like channels, that would be fun for me.
I could see it. Because, the Holy Land is a sea of fire. I could definitely see the fire being started on the sun tree, or the treasure tree, having lit the stump of the sun tree on fire. Did you miss the chapter? Yeah, you did. Basically entirely. Do you want to do the third favorite character now that we have Mr. Ya at number 2?
Can I just say that the third favorite character for me is not going to be the third favorite character for you?
Okay, it's not Ronya?
No.
That's tragic. Poor little girl. Go jump off an arrow.
It's Colin.
Oh, that's fair. Just know you're thriving. Fair. It is Colin.
He goes through
Congratulations.
A lot of shit. But can I tell you, he almost lost his place by being a complete and total dumbass.
Hey, everybody. That right there, that guy's my dad. Just so people know, my dad is that one. Just that guy has a personal affection for me. his son, his vulnerable, bound son, Colin.
Can you
I mean, he's not 7,
know
he's
that
like
if
20.
I'm ever making it clear, I don't want people to know that you're related to me for reasons that you're just like, I'm going to assume these are good reasons. Apparently,
Well, it
I
doesn't
didn't
have
know
enough
that
brain
as a
cells yet.
parent, you have to talk about that beforehand because your kid might be really stupid about it.
Hey, just so you know, bud, if you're ever held hostage, don't mention that I'm your dad. Otherwise, they'll threaten you at Lance Point.
Because
Like, for
it
real.
turns out I have a lot of enemies. Chopper could have made it in there too. I'm not going to lie. That's a good point. Sour plum soup. Sour.
Chopper's considering the long run.
This is how you have to say this, by the way. Sour plum soup. That's how it has to be said.
Okay, yeah. Chopper's like, we need to find out how to kill gods, how to kill immortal beings. And Mr. Yaw is going to be like, it's about love. And Chopper's going to be like, okay, got it, bullshit, and leave.
It's about love. And Chopper will be like, are you kidding me? Is it also the friends you made along the way?
Fuck. Cut to Kizaru. If that's true, we're going to have to rewrite the science textbooks. Man, Kizaru's so fucking fun. What a fun guy.
That's a weird statement. Are we waiting for our great good friend Goofy?
Yeah, I mean, I think we're in the cooldown. Mugiwara will probably jump in 5 minutes. I'm gonna get the title redone. I'm gonna redid my title.
Redid your title?
I'm gonna redid my title.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Is that the death marchy thing for killing your old title?
Yeah.
Because it did sound like you were. It sounded like you were going.
There we go. That's what we do.
I look so good in black nail polish. Can I just say?
Is that true?
It's a massive truth. I look like an old-timey black and white film lady whose nails looked black because black and white. You need to pressure people for Syrup Village. We don't have.
Oh, we got the guy for Syrup Village. He responded.
Oh, did
we
he?
actually have someone booked now for Syrup Village and Baratier.
I remember.
Yep, we need to find someone for Arlong Park now, and then Logetown.
Logetown.
Ooh, Baratier, by the way, is Melon Tea, so that's gonna be really fun. Melon Tea wanted the Sanji arcs. I think genuinely we should separate Whole Cake into 2 sections and Wano into 3. Here's where I'm at, right? Dressrosa is technically longer than Whole Cake, but it doesn't really have a clean divide for me. So I think we do that all at once, even though it's going to be a shit ton of reading. But like, there's such a clean break between the acts of Wano plot-wise and between the 2 halves of Whole Cake. So I think we actually split those.
Yes. I can get behind that.
Yeah, even though Dressrosa is longer than Whole Cake, it doesn't split, you know?
Dressrosa had some areas that made me very angry.
Yeah, you could divide it after Law's flashback, but the issue is the plot doesn't separate it. The plot keeps moving without any real distinction in Dressrosa, whereas there's a very clear split between the 2 halves of Whole Cake Island and between the acts of Wano. So I'm thinking we'll have Melon for the first half that's more Sanji focused for Whole Cake.
Sanji.
Also, I think if we'll end up just talking about Katakuri way too. Like, Katakuri changes the themes of the arc in such a major way that it is just its own thematic section too. Where, I do think you have to separate those and talk about them correctly. Tekking might be down for Logetown. We have Tekking booked right now for Impelled Down. However, I had a realization. The policy of everybody gets 1 pre and 1 post time skip arc doesn't work because there's way more pre-time skip arcs because they're not as long. Yeah. So we should let people book 2 pre-time skip arcs. So maybe we should ask Tekking if he wants to do
because I do want Tekking on that one because he loves it the way I love it.
Yeah.
But yes.
That's his favorite arc for some reason. So maybe we ask him.
Whoa. What's his favorite arc? Impelled Down, right?
Apparently, well, I think Impelled Down, but they're saying Logetown. Maybe he likes both a lot. Who knows?
I thought his favorite arc was Impel Down.
Look, I don't know what's happening. I'm just listening. I'm just reading chatters. He said Impel Down, they're saying.
Okay, because he and I are in the Impel Down hype train.
Guys, I wanted to give it some distance before I declared this. I think Egghead is my new favorite. I think my favorite got dethroned by Wano and dethroned again. Like,
it's interesting, especially
like recency bias aside.
So critical of Egghead.
There's still things I don't like that other people love, but like, I think it's Egghead. Which I like better between Wano and Whole Cake keeps changing. Wano, Whole Cake, and Ennie's Lobby keep shifting. Those are the three next, but I think it's Egghead.
I can't believe people aren't all like thinking that Wano is one of the most genius arcs that were ever made.
Wano has some issues, and I get why people like it because there's parts of it that feel clumsy, but the heights it reaches are so high.
I think Wano is still my favorite whole arc. I don't know. Impel Down for me is just pure brilliance, but Wano let me out of a prison. And
I mean, they do. That's the whole point.
Kept me in a prison the entire time. So, little harsh.
Egghead, Wano, Sabayouti are your top three. Weird choice, but I respect it. I respect Sabayouti feels so out of place with those three, with those other two, but I like it. Sabayouti is a great arc. It just like it feels different with like. It feels like it fits weird with Egghead and Wano, but I see it, especially because Egghead and Sabayouti have such symmetry. Yeah. Wano is it's jank, it's flawed, but fuck you, it's a 10 out of 10. Exactly. It has so many issues, it's so bloated, but like it also feels like its own entire manga, and I have never smiled and laughed as much as I have with the Gear 5 moment. Like it kills. It's so good.
The entire way through. Like, first of all, just the parts with Ace alone for me are a 10 out of 10. Finding out about his relationships with people that were left unfinished, because we always talk about a hero's journey being finished. We rarely talk about the people that they didn't come back and save that they said they'd come back for.
Yeah.
And then
Yamato and Ace, God, the anime made Yamato and Ace even so much stronger too.
He does come back for them through his brother because he shared his stories of his brother and his life with his brother with these people. And so when his brother comes there, his brother is able to fulfill something that was left.
I'm not saying you like it to make Wano work as its own is easy. You could make Wano its own arc just by making Luffy the mysterious stranger of a Western, because Westerns and samurai movies use the exact same tropes. So you just have him be the mysterious stranger, the brother of the man who promised he'd free this country. Like if you framed it that way, sure, it wouldn't be as strong as it is now with the connection to everything from outside. You'd still have him be the protagonist, but he'd just be the mysterious stranger. Like, I genuinely think Wano has enough story to have been its own manga. Here's how you can know that for sure. Book 1 of Chainsaw Man started and finished during Act 3 of Wano.
Oh, Goofy's here.
Goofy's here? Is it for
real?
It's the man.
Hello.
For real. Mugiwara no Goofy, do you want to be on camera or do you want to be a disembodied voice? Both options valid.
Sick. I'm setting up right meow, so I'll be ready in just a second.
Excellent.
No problem.
So Goofy's
right now we're in a part of you go. Then I'll
Goofy's decided to be an actual human, unlike me. But I am getting a VTuber person any minute now.
Sick.
I feel like what is a PNG tuber? A PNG tuber or VTuber is not a disembodied voice, but it's like an artificially embodied voice.
That's not how I think about it. I think about it as
it's like a phylactery.
It's like an extension of my voice. My voice talks and it moves. That's what my voice looks like.
Hey, Drawk, are you able to turn Goofy up a little bit?
Yeah. I already did slightly. I'm going to turn you up slightly more.
Sick. Let me know if
it's a blue people avatar.
Still too quiet.
No worries. I think if I get you up to 200%, it will try talking, my man.
Hello, 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 hello.
I will say, watching the levels, it does look like you were a lot louder on the first hello, which creates the image of you speaking close to the mic and then drifting away.
Yeah, I think that's probably. I'm holding it now, so that's probably what was happening the whole time.
Okay, we got a good level.
I'm sorry, I had to use my hands for something else, so that's what happened. I immediately understood. I was like, it's probably just me, actually. This is probably all my fault.
I don't think you should have to hold a mic the entire time.
I also need to be frank. You should not come to this stream with the attitude of tech issues are probably all your fault. Tech issues have gotten to the point that every time there is a tech issue, the entire chat says it's not a Drawk stream without tech issues. It's become the meme.
Yeah, that's what they say about. Well, they don't even say that about me anymore. They just go away. they just like, oh, Grandpa's setting up his camera again. We'll come back when it's done.
Oh man, I'm glad we can be kindred spirits in this, man.
We've had some streams that have been so tech issue ridden that it's like a continuous. Oh, that mic went out. Oh, the thing blinked off. Oh, Mama disappeared.
Yeah,
I've been fidgeting with my protein. So I've been fidgeting with my protein milk so much. I just noticed that I've kind of got its wrapper to the point that it looks like a slutty gown.
It actually really does.
Let me see. Almost ready now. Let me just put something there.
Hell yeah.
I'll be white black.
Okay, I'll need to switch to.
I should probably get Canada Dry. What am I doing? I can't talk without Canada Dry.
I love how often I say shit that people repeat in chat and Twitch is like, that's offensive. Like, because of what I said, someone in chat said, goddamn slutty protein. And Twitch was like, hey, this comment's been flagged for misogyny. Do you want to allow it?
Canada Dry sounds sick, honestly. That's a good drink. Ginger ale's so sick.
Dude, ginger ale's great. I found out recently that the ginger ale is 0 because the artificial sweetener is better. They don't need to mask it. And because of that, I like the diet ginger ale better because the sweetener is worse. So they need to mask the flavor. So they just shove a bunch of extra ginger in it. And I love ginger.
Ginger's so tight. Yeah, I agree. I think that's
I'm back. I have to tell you a story. I was in Tofino, and because I don't drink anymore, they had something called water. And I was like, is this water? And the lady didn't find that as funny as you'd hope. And then I think she might have heard it once or twice. And then I was like, what is this water? What is this water that you sell here? And she said, it's a hops water.
Oh, there we go.
And I was like, what is a hops water? A hops water is like where sparkly water like hangs out with hops but doesn't become beer. And now it's hopsy water. And I was like, that sounds gross. So I tried it, and it's unfortunately very good. And it was way more expensive than the beer. And so the story is I bought 6 waters for way more than the price of a 6-pack of beer. It was very upsetting.
I don't know if I can just believe you off of just hearing that. I feel like there's no way that's even kind of good. Like, that drink sounds...
I agree with you. It sounds like bullshit.
Well, it is bullshit. I had a taste, and you know what it tastes like? It tastes like
it's my dad
water.
in the background.
That's your father in the background.
It tastes like water.
It tastes like delicious
water. What did it taste like? What did he say?
Water.
Oh, it tastes like what? See?
Water.
No.
You pay $3 a can for fucking water.
Yeah. Your outrage is my outrage. I don't like that either.
You can tell we're incredible hosts by the fact that this might be the worst introduction any guest has gotten on a program before.
Get out, Papa Drawk.
No. Sorry.
No, it's sick. This whole thing is just a setup for us to go to the streets with our outrage. We need to get this, whatever that product is. I want it off the shelves. Okay, I don't.
You know
like
what?
It's not water.
Fucking
No, screw
dying,
this.
yo.
You know what? I'm getting your
dying, yo.
address and I am sending you a can of water. I insist that you
You
cool it.
can't. Our post
Even-
office is on strike.
I
even
will
that
send it
name
through
makes me
Purelator.
Okay,
Water,
you're gonna
water,
purelate him some water.
I'm gonna
I hate
Purelate him some water.
All right. Hey, Goofy, do you have a PO box for gifts? Because if so, she's gonna purelate you some water.
I don't, but honestly, even if I did, I would probably. I don't want that.
It's delicious water.
Because that is the issue. If someone pays to purelate a liquid to you, you're kind of obliged to drink it by social expectation.
I guess that's true. It's kind of like buying you a drink, but in a different state. I would definitely. Yeah, that sounds awesome. Actually, that sounds.
I'm
sick.
sending it to you. It's
Yeah.
happening.
Oh no need to do that. We don't have to.
Did I mention?
Alone.
Did I mention that cool West Coast artist created the can art on it, and it's like super pretentious and hipster. Like it's so hipster.
I have to look this up. I can't go on.
You know, water.
without- I cannot go on without knowing what this is.
This is the appropriate reaction. Everybody should look up Tofino's water.
For anybody who doesn't know, Tofino is British Columbia, Canada's surfing town. So if you ever want to know what like Middle California would be like in Canada, that's Tofino.
Okay.
Okay, I think I found it. Yeah, that is wow. Okay.
Yeah. That's the right reaction. That's the reaction everyone wants.
For water, huh? This is
Water. What it is water.
it's water. It is water. A refreshing and citrus ambient infusion of Pacific floor.
I'm sorry, if you need to describe your flavor as ambient, something's gone wrong.
Well, no, that's the
Floor.
right description though. It is kind of like it kind of hung out with hops.
Hey, should we get to the thing? We want to know, Goofy, do you want to introduce yourself to the crowd and tell us a little bit about how you got into One Piece?
Oh, I am Moogie Goof. I love One Piece. I forgot what year it was, but I recently got into one. Well, recently, like a couple years ago, and I got into it, and then I was working night shift. I always tell the story, but I didn't like where I was working. I was working nights, and working nights for anybody that's worked nights, that shit sucks. It messes with your like. Just everything. Like working nights is no bueno. Everybody that has to do it, my heart goes out. My God, that is terrible. But I was working overnight and I was really like upset, and well, not even upset, just like I don't know, just like emotions and stuff weren't even there. And then I found One Piece. And then I found One Piece, and then I got caught up. I will never forget. I was in Dressrosa, and just something. I was at work, and something clicked. I was like, you know what? Luffy wouldn't take this. And then I sent my email of resignation, and I got caught up with One Piece in the 2 months, not 2 years. Good God, 2 years being unemployed would be sick. That would be terrible. But you'd have so much free time to watch One Piece. It would be terrible, but it would be awesome. But I was unemployed for like 2 months, and I used that time to get caught up with One Piece, and the rest is history. I love the story,
dude. So I find that story fucking rad because for me, like, whenever anyone asks, and we've actually did a Q&A stream recently, and people ask, like, what fictional character have you found inspiration from? And it also is Luffy for me. Like, so much of how I run my life is like, what I feel like Luffy would put up with or what Luffy would want. I also wanted to say something that's come up on my stream before. For a long time, I love your content because for a long time, I thought about making basically your exact show, but your kind of deadpan humor isn't something I can do. Like, I'm not good at that straight deadpan delivery that you do. So I'm so fucking glad your channel exists because I straight up for years thought about making basically your channel, not with the Jimmy Scoops character, but just of the idea of like pointing out how funny One Piece from an alternate perspective is. And when I saw your content, I was like, oh, fuck, finally, someone did it. Yes.
Hell yeah. I appreciate that, man. It's such a funny thing to think about. and I'm glad.
Mhm.
I saw. Originally, I was just talking about chapter reviews because, like, I just
Mhm.
finally wanted to talk about One Piece on the internet, and it was surprisingly it went really well. Everybody was super sick. I didn't expect the community to be so cool.
Mhm.
What I found people
I
talk to
feel
me
like
about
the
how toxic One Piece community is, and I'm like, that hasn't been my experience. My experience
Yeah,
has been
right.
that the squishies are awesome. They love talking about it. They're knowledgeable. They press you in interesting ways and give you divergent thinking. And before you know it, you've spent 3 hours of your life thinking about 3 panels of a manga on a Saturday afternoon.
Ain't that the best? And that's the way to live, baby. I love it. I love it.
All right. Let's get started talking about Orange Town. Hey, Orange Town. Isn't that the one where a crazy acrobat hides behind a wild animal to shield himself from artillery fire?
No, I think it's the one about the sweet dog who holds down an entire town on his own while the villagers hide.
Yeah.
Isn't that the one where a woman goes from saying that's my boss to you can work for me to I'll work for you to I'll never work for you to I'll pretend to work for you to that's my Xbox to that's my boss to okay I'll work for you a little bit, okay I'll work with you, okay I'll work for you but only for a while?
I have a question. Did you actually look at all the Nami transitions, or are you just like putting them out there?
I was about to say that. That was that accurate? Is that how many times that happened?
I think it was. I tried to flash by my memory as I said them, but I might have gotten lost in the sauce at some point there.
I hope you did, because if it was that many times, good God, she needs to make up her mind. I don't know. I just quit playing.
I think it's the one about a dude that gets lost but finds his way because another dude gets loster.
I think it's the one where two emperors of the sea have a clash over territory.
It's so weird to think about the fact that Luffy is an emperor of the sea later on. All right, do you have an isn't it the one take, Goofy?
I'm sorry.
We did not warn you about this bit because you don't have to participate.
What is this? What is it?
You say, isn't that the one? And you
Just
think of any
dumb ways to
weird
describe
thing
the arc.
about it.
Oh, that. Oh, God, those were all really good, to be honest. I'm trying to think when I think about Orange Town, isn't that the one where Luffy kicked Buggy in the balls? That's the first thing that I think about. Really hard.
It
objectively is that one.
It's also Orange Town. Isn't that the one where there's no oranges?
I'm upset about that now. You're right. There aren't any oranges in Orange Town.
I feel like I wouldn't be upset about that if it wasn't for the fact that there's objectively one of the arcs of the East Blue where there's a lot of oranges.
Yeah, this is why I'm upset about it too, because I was reading it and I was like, we actually have a whole thing where we have oranges. So this is fucking upsetting. Why are we calling this one Orange Town, folks?
I've never noticed that there's no oranges in Orange Town.
I literally never noticed that. But it's got a frustrating lack of oranges. You're right.
Syrup Village had syrup. Like almost immediately they have syrup.
No, oranges don't come later, Ozzy. Don't make excuses for Orange Town.
Yeah, that's the issue that they come later because there's an arc full of oranges.
Dear God, was there really syrup in Syrup Village? If so, there's no excuse.
Yeah,
there's absolutely no excuse.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure they had pancakes at Usopp's house or the diner. Or no, it was a diner. They went to a restaurant and had pancakes.
Son of a bitch. All right, well, there you have it. I feel betrayed. I literally never
The arc is ruined.
Also, for alliteration, it would have been better if we'd had Tangerine Town.
Oh my God.
Tangerine Town is actually, that would be sick. Nami should go there.
Agreed. Okay, so
maybe that's why she was near Orange Town. She thought there'd be oranges.
Let's talk about this thing first, because you're really already like going to town on Goofy's tattoo idea.
Oh yeah, we got it. We got to draw it.
So explain to them what you're doing. What did Goofy ask for?
The two elements Goofy mentioned were the buggy ball and Choo Choo, and I decided to add in Zoro's swords because this is. I feel like the going 3-sword style was kind of a big moment here against Kabuji the Acrobat. So we've got 3-sword Choo Choo flying on a buggy ball.
I love it. I love everything about this. I might actually, good God, I'll get that tattooed over my back or my chest. Actually,
You know
what's? Dude, that'd be sick.
You know what's terrifying is Mama made us. Mama made us confirm that if we hit, I forget how many, I think it's 50,000 subs. One of the tattoos we do throughout these rereads, we are going to commit to getting. I don't know if it has to be the same one or we each get to pick one.
That's so sick. This is already great.
This one here could end up being one that one of us choose.
Oh, dude,
This is already very funny.
This is
awesome.
already, yeah.
Well, let's let it get rendered first before we commit. I might drop the ball, y'all.
Might suck.
I just love his face.
Okay.
Like he's so determined. Like he's going coming in to regulate something. He's ready to even the odds. He's about to press R1 to even the odds. Like he is.
You are not wrong. You are not wrong. Look at that. If we all had that level of determination, we take over the world.
Exactly. Look at him. Look at him.
I want to cut right to the discussion because we got talking about buggy balls right away. And like, I had a realization reading this. Guys, this might be a hot take. While he's too much of a goofball to really act on it, when it comes to just like fight threat potential, I kind of think, other than Smoker, who doesn't count, Buggy might kind of be the biggest threat in the East Blue. Like, I don't know. Sure, Arlong hit harder, but the buggy balls can blow up an entire town in an instant. Zoro couldn't touch him. Luffy needed help to finish him off. I don't know, man. Buggy came across as a threat here. Like, Krieg just got the shit kicked out of him.
How did they beat Buggy again? They do the, it was some Looney Tunes like gags. I remember
it was
that.
while
like,
he was separated doing his flying around. Nami tied up all the pieces, and then he was Little Buggy.
I remember now. See, and yeah, so that whole ending was a gag. That's just who he is, I guess, because that could have been way cooler. I don't know. You're not crazy for thinking that. He definitely was more of a problem than Arlong, which is crazy. Which is actually crazy. Yeah, actually.
Because people would be like, Luffy needed to be saved fighting Arlong. I mean, yeah, it was his own fault. He literally slammed his own feet in the ground and made himself completely vulnerable. Like, Luffy is the reason Arlong was hard.
Yeah, that's true.
Drawk, we have to take you down volume-wise a little bit so I can hear.
Oh, my volume too high? Okay. Well, you turn yourself down. You can turn me down on Discord. Yeah, you control that.
You betcha I'll turn you down right now. Okay, so Goofy, what about Orangetown do you like? What do you think it adds? What do you think is the best part? We try to go through and ask ourselves, okay, what value did this bring to the overall piece?
First, I really like Orangetown specifically for Choo Choo. He looks so awesome. He's so cool, and I just love the fact that he's just a cool. Like, I don't know. I'm a sucker for like small dogs in like in stories and even just in real life. So anytime I see a small dog, I'm like, hell yeah, me and you. Dude.
You know what? That was the best answer you ever made. Yeah, like you could never answer better now.
Yeah, I love this arc because the whole story we get with him waiting outside of that shop, and then like the mayor like knows him, and we get like that little just Luffy like sitting with him, like that to me is what I think when I think about Orangetown. I think about buggy balls and Buggy getting kicked in the nuts, but the sentimental part, like
you think about buggy balls and buggy balls.
This might have been the first time. I don't know if I cried in Orangetown. I don't think I did because I vividly remember Baratier probably was when One Piece like got me for real. But I was definitely getting teary-eyed looking at the dog for sure. I know for sure I was on the verge of crying looking at Choo Choo.
When I was forced to read this by Drawk, and I was going through, I thought it was okay. It was an okay story. You know how it kind of grabs you in a different way, and I was like, it's kind of fun. For me, it was when Luffy got down on his hands and knees and looked at Choo Choo and how he'd had his treasure taken from him, and how Luffy was like, you know, screw with me, whatever. Screw with this noble dog. I'll take your ass down. I was like, okay, I can get behind this story. This is a story I can get behind.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
It shows Luffy's emotional intelligence right away that he's like, look, I'm not going to get angry unless you fuck with somebody's treasures, the thing that they care about, that they've put stake in. You touch my hat, I'm fucking you up. You touch this dog's store, I'm fucking you up.
Yeah, I like that. He's so cool. I don't even think I noticed how cool Luffy was in those scenes, but he really is. Like, you can really see, like you said, his emotional intelligence there, but you can also see like him, like his dynamics, how he reacts or not reacts, how he interacts with people differently, like how he interacts with Zoro and Nami. Like, you can already kind of see Luffy, like, he's not like he is dumb, but like Nami isn't playing him like she thinks that she is. And it's really cool, like the scene where he's in the cage and he's like, hey, you better be prepared to pull the trigger if you're going to play with pirates, or he says something like that, and it's like, you better be serious, you better be ready to put your life on the line.
You better be willing to die.
Yeah, that's I love that. It's so nonchalant, and he almost says it, but he's very serious when he says it. Like, yeah, if you're gonna do that, you better be willing to put your life. It's such a random but serious like thing to wait in. And I loved it. I loved it.
And it makes sense too, because if you think about his early days with his brother and how we don't know this at the time, but he watched Sabo get blown up, and Sabo had gone off to be a pirate and take over the world, but he was willing to put his life on the line for that dream. Like, he means it when he says it to Nami, and we just don't know it yet, because he's like, yeah, dude, like, I watched my brother die for this dream. So if you're going out here and coming against pirates, listen to me when I tell you, you better be willing to treat your life as a thing that you can use, because you could die.
Yep.
I think you just touched on something I hadn't thought of. You just touched on something I hadn't really noticed before, that like, it's something One Piece live action kind of brings up is, or brings out well, is that I think they're mostly East Blue. You don't really notice how much Luffy's the big fish in the small pond until reread, where it's like, oh yeah, no, he was taking this seriously. This wasn't him playing around being a dummy where he's trapped in a cage and everything. He is being fully aware, like, yeah, I might die if you shoot me with the cannon. I'm a fucking pirate. I took that risk. Did you?
Yep. It's so cool. That's such a, like, I think what Oda does really, one of the things that he does really, really well are those situations where he's fleshing out Luffy in ways that we can like just see like the good, because I didn't even notice how much like Luffy grew on me until after just like so many arcs had gone. Like, normally you like when you're watching something, like, you know, like, that's my favorite character ever, like, you almost pick it instantly, but Luffy snuck up on me in like such an intense way to where he is like my favorite fictional character ever created, and I can't tell you when that happened. I can only notice like the breadcrumbs of like the things that I was noticing in the moment, and retroactively, like, I can notice them in a new light, but I can't tell you when I immediately I decided he was my GOAT. You know, that's crazy.
I fully know that feeling. I don't know where it was for me, but there's a moment where Luffy says, I will be king of the pirates, where you, for the first time as a viewer, understand the weight of that and also fully believe him. Like, it's not just, yeah, this is the story and I know you're the protagonist, so you get what you want. It's like, no. This man will be the fucking king of the pirates.
Yeah, he really, but it's what he does better than any fictional character I've ever seen. I love this about Luffy so much. He not only motivates you to, like, it's a really good story, but it's not just for escapism. Like, it's a good story that you can get lost in, but it also like inspires you to be more like you, to like be yourself, and to like really go after what you want, to like have the balls to actually say what you want and then do it. Like, One Piece like legitimately taught me like how important that is, and Luffy as a character taught me that you can do that, and you know, it's the coolest thing you can do is just being yourself and being so aggressively yourself. It's awesome.
I was also thinking in there that one of the reasons that I think that I bought into Luffy so fast, and something that Oda did that was really smart here, is Sanji buys into Luffy so fast. Because I was saying that it's crazy that Sanji is sitting in a boat, Luffy reaches his arm up and grabs a bird. Genius moment.
Zoro. You're saying Sanji, you mean Zoro.
I have Sanji in the brain. I have Sanji in the maid outfit on the brain. And so then he reaches up and he grabs the bird. And rather than Zoro being like, guess I have my freedom and I can go out on my way and do whatever the shit I want now. I'm no longer tied up in a military prison and I'm out of here. And that weird little kid with a dinghy that's his own issue, whether he comes out of this or not. But instead, he was like, I got to find my captain. And immediately goes after Luffy with such gusto. And I was thinking about how smart that was of Oda, because I think when Zoro, who's this cranky pirate hunter, bought into Luffy so quickly, it helped me be like, hell's yeah, let's go get that kid. Like, we need to find that dumbass. Where did he go? And I think that was a really wise choice of his.
I just realized how much Zoro comes across as like the perfect balance of cool and idiot through our revelations here. Because in the first chapter of this arc, we have him being like, we have the confrontation of like, you're a pirate hunter, right? And he's like, what? I mean, like, kind of. What do you mean, kind of? Pays the bills. What do you mean pays the bills? You roam around hunting pirates. Yeah, I mean, like, I just chased a guy off the island because he ran away from me, and I don't know, didn't get back. And then the guy was kind of floating around fighting guys. Ended up in a military prison because I kicked the dog. Like Zoro ended up with this crazy reputation just because he got lost and started wandering around cutting people.
Yeah, he literally is just like, I woke up here. I don't know what I forgot what we're doing, but I heard I'm a pirate now, so that's what
I
I'm
woke
doing,
up
I guess.
here.
You're
the
like
most ridiculously awesome thing to talk about how Zoro ended up on Luffy's crew.
Yeah.
it's something my mom had an observation in Wano that this ties to that I love, which is that 2 weeks without Luffy and Zoro became a drunk accused of murder wandering around Wano, that the only thing that makes Zoro responsible enough to be a functioning human is having Luffy to babysit. And we kind of see that immediately in that chapter where he's like, yeah, I don't know, I was like a weird hobo wandering around cutting people. Luffy gets kidnapped by a bird and he's like, I got a job to do.
It's the same thing with Rayleigh, dude. He's been drinking at the same bar ever since Roger was executed.
Yes.
They don't know, like,
Yes.
they can't do anything else, dude. So they drink.
Absolutely.
They lose their idiot to babysit and their life falls apart.
No, they need
goes-
somebody whose chaos magic is even more than their own. That they got to go out there and
When Zoro, like when Luffy came from the sky to save Zoro in episode like 1, and he saved Zoro. Zoro was thinking, as soon as he realized who Luffy was, he must have thought, "Oh, good, he's so crazy. Oh, thank God, I've been so lost these past couple these last few years have been a blur. But this guy, I can."
This guy's an absolute shit show.
Yeah, or he just wants
This
somebody
guy
he
does
can
not
blame,
have it together.
Like if he just needs someone else to be in charge, like that's it. Like he wants to be the crazy person. He's like, oh, thank God, finally someone else wants to be in charge. Let's go.
Oh God, I cannot make decisions for my own well-being.
For real. And if that is it, I get it. 100% Zoro.
Where do you sit on the is Zoro his second in command?
Yeah, he is. He's the first mate.
Thing. Interesting. So many people argue about
he is for
this.
sure.
It's such
he's the only one that cares about it too. That's the thing. Like no one else gives a shit. Like he's gonna be, I'm the first mate, and Sanji, everybody else would be like, okay, I guess I don't care. Like nobody. He's the only person that would introduce himself as the first mate anyway.
I just think that it's interesting because so many people say there is no first mate. I think Mel from Mel and T feels the same way, that there is no first mate, and I think it's really interesting. But I think it's also because, and I don't get me wrong, you know how I feel about Sanji. I love Sanji. I've only become a recent Zoro person, and I don't know, how did that happen? I started to watch the anime, and then Drawk said that's because
Chris Abbott,
you were listening to Chris Abbott to be Zoro, and you fell in love with his character. But I was like, how could you think that he isn't a first mate? Like, he's the only one who wants to be a first mate. He was there since day one. He's the very first person on the crew. He's the one who loses all of his purpose if Luffy goes away. Like, it's all first mate character.
Yeah,
I think You go first, then I'll add it.
Oh no, yeah, I was just gonna say that literally, if the argument is, I thought I had to pick between any of them to be. If we're saying like maybe like no one is the first mate, maybe that's true. I think that truly like what I believe more than anything is that Zoro wants people to know that he's the first mate. Whether that title even exists, that doesn't matter. Like that's like he's gonna say it, and then everybody else would just let him have it. So I would say it's Zoro only because if he finds out that's even a position that anyone could have, he's like, well, then I have it. Damn it, don't I? So that's
People act like Zoro is effortlessly cool, but I agree with the person who, like, as someone said, it's Mel's take. Funny, we keep bringing her up. I agree with Mel's take that, like, Zoro cares about looking cool a lot. I think inside, every time there's a moment where Zoro's on his own and someone goes, he's just the right-hand man, he's not even the captain, I think Zoro goes, oh yeah, fuck yeah, give me that boost, give me that ego boost, come on, keep talking about how I could be the captain, come on, bring it on.
Yeah. He loves it. He loves it. And he loves not making decisions. There will be in so many situations that they need someone to make a decision, and he'll be like, well, too many captains sink the ship. So you guys make that decision. Just tell me where to do something and I'll go do it. But yeah, I'm not making any decisions.
And that was a really important thing that Oda did too, because then it made the time that he said to Luffy, you can't let Usopp back on this boat until he apologizes, that much more powerful. Because if he'd been making decisions all along and talking all along, that would have been shit. That would have been nothing. But because he stands out and suddenly he's like, no, this is the line. All of us are like, holy shit.
Yep,
and it was way more powerful.
Yep, that is really cool.
Oh man. I love how over the top cool guy Zoro is here. I love him being like, yeah, I got stabbed in the gut. I'm still going to pick up the cage, but your guts will spill out. I'll push him back in.
I wanted
him going to fight Kabaji.
I wanted to talk about, that's the other funniest thing that happens in the arc, because Luffy's trapped in the cage. So Zoro and Nami are trying to figure out how to get him out so that they can leave. And Zoro, he doesn't ask no one tells him to do this. He just picks up the cage, throws it over his shoulder. He's already stabbed at this point. Like, Buggy has already stabbed him.
Yep.
So he's bleeding out, and he lifted Luffy over the cage, and he's like, all right, let's go figure out how to, like... Truthfully, they could have just drug Luffy's cage on the ground, but he throws it over his shoulder. He's bleeding out, and then he starts moaning as he's like, he's like inching on... So stupid. And then when they finally they don't even make it to where they're trying to go. They make it halfway till Luffy sees something else. And then as soon as he drops Luffy, he just collapses like, well, if you're going to talk to that dog, I'm going to pass out. And he just goes to sleep.
In the
so
middle of the road.
I love the idea of Luffy looking over at him like, so, is this going to be the last time you make choices that lead you to go unconscious from blood loss? And Zoro on the ground is like, no.
Oh. No, he says that with his before he passes out. No.
Cool. Good to know, bud.
Yeah.
This actually made me like Buggy more, and I've never been a Buggy fan. I think I've made it clear that while the rest of the One Piece world is all like buggying out all over the time, I've been like kind of mid on Buggy.
Yeah,
but
I agree. I'm with you there.
But in this one, I was like, I like Buggy in Orange Town where there's no oranges more than I like him in other places. Like, he's got that perfect blend of being like the clown from It and the clown from a circus. And Freddy Krueger. So there was a moment that I realized, because Oda and I are this same age, so I look at his influences in a different way sometimes. And the way that he held the knives in his hand was that Freddy Krueger look with the blade hands. And I was thinking, like, dude, you are pulling on everything you can, moving back and forth between this, like, terrifying Freddy Krueger clown who would show up in your nightmares. There's this one page in page 7 of 22 in chapter 9 where he is just the most shadowy figure from hell. And then suddenly he's like, and goofing around. And I was like, that's more terrifying. As I was reading it.
That's terrifying.
Exactly.
That is so scary.
Exactly. This movement back and forth between this ridiculous, silly clown and this terrifying clown, I realize is way more scary than if you could predict him.
Yeah, that is terrifying. Oh my gosh.
So I wish he was more of that Buggy.
Yeah, he's never going to be that.
We're never
never again. Anyway,
I wonder what we're gonna get now that we have the expanded Buggy backstory of like it turns out the thing that actually broke his heart. Obviously pissed about being made to eat the devil fruit by accident, but the thing that actually broke his heart and made him resent Shanks was way later in their journey after they'd been sailing together forever. After that, was Shanks giving up on his dream when Buggy had grown to believe in him. I kind of wonder with the revelation of, you know what, fuck you, I'll do it myself. I wonder what that's going to do to Buggy, because there's no world where he has like a Kobe level transformation is like, and now I'm the big cheese. But he's got to accomplish something for that scene to feel worthwhile. And I find myself with Buggy wondering right now, what are we going to get from him? Like, what is the newfound drive of Buggy going to give us? Because I don't think it's nothing, but it can't be all that much either.
Yeah, I'm not sure. That's a good. I really loved, like, I've recently been coming around to, because I really didn't understand. I thought it was just like a cult following. And I mean it is, but like I understood it a lot more with the recent chapters. I probably was that the last chapter we saw of Buggy when he said he's going to get the One Piece?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think so.
Such a
Yeah,
long
it's been
time
a long
ago.
time.
But that really did like shake something in me, and I was like, wow, okay, this is that's the scene that like kind of forces you to see him in a different light, I think.
So you were not a big pro Buggy person either?
Yeah, I mean, I liked him. Of course, he's really funny. I didn't think I was gonna get a story from him. And then that moment made me think, oh, I'm so stupid for thinking that. Oda is crazy. Like, of course we're gonna get an emotional story from Buggy. Of course we are.
I like the revelation. It fits in all right with the backstory we already got for him. Like, it doesn't feel like a full retcon for me. But it's definitely funny to think that they definitely took place really far apart, the flashback in this arc and the new flashback. It is funny to think that he had this moment where he started to hate Shanks, and then they sailed together for like another year or so after this. Because it seems like if Rayleigh and Scopper don't know what a devil fruit is, they're still in the fucking East Blue in this flashback.
Wow, that is insane.
I didn't think about that actually, but yeah, they would have to be.
Like this is when Roger is like is just like a little guy. Like, this is early.
I got a hot take on this chapter. I start to think that Luffy allowed himself to be caught and allowed himself to be rescued by Nami and Zoro. Because if you look at the cage and how wide the bars are and how much Luffy can stretch, if he just laid down and stretched his ass out or pushed his legs and stretched his body out, he could get the hell out of the cage. He doesn't need to stay in this cage. He's a rubber boy. It doesn't matter if he's tied up. So I started to wonder if we were supposed to notice that and think that Luffy was giving them an adventure together, a task to perform, almost like an audition, and a thing that would bond them, that would make them want to be crew.
Oh no, it was just One Piece gags. Yeah,
I know.
That'd be sick. That'd be really sick though. But yeah,
I know that it could be just One Piece gags, but if you look at this one panel on page 20 of 22, he's almost as wide as the goddamn bars. If that skinny,
I like the alternative.
Sideways, he could roll out.
I like the alternative, which is Luffy's in the cage and he's like, Nami's learning a lesson, whatever. And in his head, he's like, I mean, I'm rubber. I'm gonna survive. Like, I'll be okay.
Yeah.
I think, Goofy, you're probably right. I think it's probably just One Piece gag, but I think it is funny to think if we could see in Luffy's head, he's like, I mean, I'll probably be fine.
Yeah, that could totally 100% be it. I mean, it could all be, I guess he could have been sandbagging so that he could see if, oh, this is nice, my crew's gonna. I think he's just reckless and selfish. I think the whole time he was thinking, oh, I'm in a cage. No, my crew's gonna get me out of here. I do think he thought that. I don't think there was any like that's just what he thinks every time.
That's what I see.
Yeah.
In my world, I think he would say that his crew is going to get out of there, and B, I think that he's all about being a crew and helping each other out. So whether he knows that he was like giving them like an opportunity to do something together, I think he sees it in like this pirate crew kind of way. Like, pirate crew is the ultimate thing that you can be, in his opinion.
Yeah, that's true, and it's not that far off. Honestly, that could totally have happened. Honestly, he is sweet like that.
Do you see the part where
Goofy-
Nami is drinking so much? Do we see another place where she outdrinks people other than?
Yes,
Is it
it
rum?
happens a lot. She outdrinks people a lot. Whiskey Village.
Yeah,
Not Whiskey Village. Yeah, Whiskey Peak.
Yeah.
Whiskey Peak.
Where else?
She's an insane drinker. Can we all highlight how crazy it is that she's 17 years old and is apparently like such a heavy drinker that it doesn't even hit her? How much have they been letting this 17-year-old drink?
Oh, I think girl's been piling it back her whole life.
I would imagine Robin might have too, but definitely, yeah. Nami can drink. It's actually crazy. Nami can knock them back. It's crazy.
I couldn't think of any other place though since Whiskey Village where we saw her drink a whole bunch. Like it feels like that lore went away.
It's a weird thing that the animators do when they're doing like expanding on the party scenes. They have her drinking all the time in the anime. But as far as in the manga, I can't really think of a place after Whiskey Peak.
Me neither.
Did you watch the anime or did you read, Goofy?
I watched the anime until I got caught up with the manga, obviously, yeah. So I got
and then
first.
Have you gone back to read it since?
Have not.
That'd be a fun thing for you to do. Fun thing for people to see you do.
Can I say how funny it was? I was like you, Goofy, and I originally watched the anime. I haven't read Orange Town before. Reading it for the first time, nobody talks about the fact that there's just a random chapter that's in grayscale for some reason. Like, no other One Piece chapter is grayscaled instead of black and white. And for some reason, in the middle of Orange Town, he was just like, I guess I'll try this out. I don't know. People do this. And there's just a grayscaled, shaded chapter of One Piece as like weird lost media. What? It was actually in red scale, you think? What the fuck?
Yeah, I didn't capture that you didn't read this ever. So when you called me to talk about it being in grayscale, I was like, yeah. Yeah, it's chapter, is it 11? 12?
Yeah, just for some reason, there's a grayscale shaded chapter in the middle of this section that I've never noticed before.
12.
No, it's a couple pages in other chapters, but there is a full chapter.
I think it looks good. I'm not going to lie. I liked it. He did not like it because that's the only one. No, there's... Later on, he does all of Nolan the Liar, kind of like that.
Oh, really?
Yeah, and something else I'm trying to remember too.
But that's a flashback, so it feels different. It just felt weird for there to be just a normal chapter that had grayscale shading.
And Choo Choo looked really cute because of it. Like, so cute.
Apparently, it's because it was a colored chapter originally. Interesting.
Oh.
So what... I'm trying to find, what does grayscale mean? What is that, like, just like...
Basically, instead of just being black and white, it had gradients of gray for shading, but it turns out that's just because manga's printed black and white, and the chat saying that it was originally in color. Which I have just never seen a One Piece chapter with gray shading before, so it felt wild. Like, I was looking at it like, that seems wrong.
I think it looks good, though.
It does. Something you mentioned, Goofy, earlier was him falling out of the sky to save Zoro. And I realized in this chapter, he also falls out of the sky to save Nami. How many times does Luffy fall out of the sky to save someone or after saving someone? Is that like a sun god thing? Like, is that an illusion? Because I'm going through the series now, having put together, falls out of the sky to save Zoro, falls out of the sky to save Nami, falls out of the sky after beating Krieg, falls out of the collapsed building from Arlong, falls out of the sky to save people in Marineford, falls out of the sky to save Cobra, falls out of the sky, knocks Crocodile into the sky, I guess, falls out of the sky after losing to Croc. Like, him saving people, falls out of the sky after fighting Kaido.
Yeah. Did you mention Skypiea too? Like with the bell?
I didn't mention Skypiea, no.
Yeah, he's just that whole arc is just in the sky. So I mean that could count for
yeah.
At the very end.
Yeah.
He's literally just in the sky. Yeah, it happens a lot, dude. He's crazy.
That dude is falling out of the sky all the fucking time. I've never noticed how often it is before. The man's just be falling.
Yeah, he's insane. He does that so often.
I never realized how much Oda loves mayors. Who's your favorite mayor character ever? Because I started.
Your favorite One Piece mayor?
I think that your favorite One Piece mayor should be a question we talk about, since Oda thinks mayors are the fucking cat's pajamas.
I can't think of another mayor. Where are these? Oh, I guess Iceberg. There's Iceberg, and there's
Iceberg for sure.
this dude.
Yeah.
No, there's also
it's gotta be
mayor
Iceberg.
in Nami's town.
Right. Yep.
Whoop
Mr. Windmill Hat.
Oh, he's the mayor? I thought that was just her dad. Oh, he's awesome. I might change my answer to that guy.
the one,
Pinwheel Hat Man.
the one from
Yeah.
Tangerine Town,
Yeah.
which is what we should call it from now on.
I don't
That
know.
was just Nami's dad, or obviously
Yeah,
Suda's
like
dad.
like father figure, but yeah, like no, he's the mayor, I think.
Awesome. Yeah, I'm changing my answer to that guy.
Oh yeah, Whoop Slap's the mayor.
That's what I just said. Whoop slap.
I forgot about him. Yeah, Whoop Slap's my favorite mayor. Obviously, he got to the top 50 characters in the popularity poll. How could he not be? He's by far the most popular mayor if you go by the stats.
Oh my god. You just sounded like Trump.
Did you know that was a meme Grand Line Review started, where he wanted to see how much impact he could have on the global popularity poll and see if he could get a random character no one would vote for otherwise into the top 50?
Hey, you know what I'm
Wow,
going to
and it
do?
worked.
I'm going to tell you about some mayors
Yes.
because I think you all think I was kidding about this, so I just came up with a comprehensive list of mayors of One Piece. It's Boodle, the poodle, obviously. Whoop Slap. Genzo is from Nami's village. Then the Shell Town's Higama. Iceberg from Water 7. Then we have Pagaya, Sky Island.
Wait,
Suru-
Pagaya's the mayor? I thought he was just a guy.
Nope.
That's what
Apparently
I'm
it's
saying.
mayor.
Pagaya's the
The
mayor?
guy is the mayor of Skypiea?
Apparently.
I thought
What?
Let
he
me look
wasn't
this
doing
up
any
because-
mayor shit the entirety of Skypiea. He was just in a
No,
Let
house
me look
with
this up
Oda.
because this is absolute
He just
bullshit.
hung out with his daughter.
Hang on.
Mayor of
Pagaya's the mayor?
I'm looking it
I'm
up too.
sorry.
I refuse to believe that because he didn't do anything in Skypiea.
All he did was
you-
survive
how
getting
can you
struck
say
by
that?
lightning.
Who made
That was his
shell
only
shit?
contribution.
I gotta look this up because this list online put Pagaya in here, and I gotta hope
I think
he
he's-
isn't.
I think he's just a dude. I think he's just a regular dude. I
I
can't.
need him to
Okay,
be.
so
because
chat
that's the
disagrees.
lamest
Whatever
mayor
we
in
found is a
history.
lie.
Okay, I have a
It
question
says his
regarding blah, blah, blah.
occupation is an engineer. So either if he
Okay,
is the
so
mayor,
chat
he's
disagrees.
sorry.
Your list is a lie.
Oh God, thank God, because he's the worst mayor in the history of.
He didn't do it. I was about to say, if you're the mayor, dude, you got to do something about this. Like, you can't just send us to do it.
Okay. Can you imagine how much like middle management you'd feel if you were a mayor when God lives in your town? Like a guy whose job is God is in your town and
That
you're
is
the
crazy.
mayor?
And
That is
somebody's like,
crazy.
"What do you do?" And you're like, "I'm the mayor." And they're like, "Don't you have a God here?" And, yeah.
Yeah.
Can't be wasting
Look,
his
I
time
handle municipal
mayoring.
taxes.
We don't got to talk about. Yeah, that's the. Yeah, just like that guy thinks he's God. Don't worry about it. Don't worry about it. Just.
I don't know,
Got
man.
good.
He rides on a flying horse. He has like a big beard. Don't worry about it. I'm the mayor.
Our property values are going through the roof right now. So.
I don't know if you know this, but I actually just sanctioned the building of a public park that'll be ready in 4 to 8 weeks. So
On the other hand, what kind of a god is
Whoa.
gonna run around doing like paperwork?
Igaram's a fake mayor. Igaram doesn't count. He was pretending to be the mayor of a fake town that's job was to kill pirates. Actually, does that count? Because everyone there was a Baroque Works agent. So if everybody who lives there says you're the mayor, aren't you the mayor?
Very
I guess
philosophical.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, that's a real Schrodinger's cat situation.
It
Yeah, I
tree
mean,
falls
you're
in a forest
technically
kind of
the
mayor.
Yeah, that's what type of mayor that he is. Whether he's a mayor or not, that's the best mayor he could ever be. Is a tree that falls in a forest. Does anybody hear a mayor?
Oh, apparently in the
I wonder-
anime there were filler mayors.
What?
Oh, God.
We can't count the filler mayors.
I didn't even know about this filler shit that you people have in anime. I was like, what is this filler stuff? What are you getting that's extra than I did?
It's just a bunch. Well, some of them are good actually. I really like the Ice Hunters arc and obviously G8. But yeah,
everybody likes G8.
Yeah.
I saw G8. I liked it. I got to see it later once I was further along.
Yeah, I don't think it's worth stopping the story for, but I think it's worth seeing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Man,
I
wonder if you made lists if there's more named mayors in One Piece or princesses.
That better be more princesses because there can't be that many mayors. I mean, I guess there could be, but so many of them aren't doing their job, just clearly. Like, I think Iceberg is the only person I can think of that, like, really tried. Like, gave it a really good try. Like, everybody else, like...
I think the old man in Orangetown...
yeah, he's good. Yeah, he's good. I'll give him that.
He didn't accomplish anything, but he did care.
Wait a minute, there was also a mayor in Luffy's hometown. Wasn't that weird dude with the hat?
That was Whoop Slap. We've been talking about him. Yeah.
Does he do anything?
He tells Luffy not to be an asshole.
No, guys, we're not counting kings. We're counting princesses. It's princesses versus mayors. That's what we're counting. Kings aren't princesses. I don't know if you know this.
I have a hot take about Orangetown. I'm glad Goofy came to talk about it, but I think Orangetown, I think it made me like the manga more because the fights were easy, the treasure thing. But I think Orangetown was just one of those build-up pieces that when you look back on it, really the only thing that stands out is Choo Choo.
Yeah. I mean, that's what I think. I don't have a reason for why. I just really like Choo Choo, so that's why but I definitely he's what I remember the most.
Yeah, like this. When I was reading over this again, I was like, yeah, there is not a lot here. We don't even get any of Luffy's like golden takes on fighting. We see him kind of sit back a little and act like the crew is his crew. And there's some good stuff in that. But I was just like, really, the only thing that I remembered was Choo Choo, and I was right. Oh, and there is a chapter 14 in the beginning. Luffy is in a black cape, and I did live for that. That was nice.
I still love, there's stuff I love. I love in retrospect thinking about it because I do love that in the history books, someone is going to be looking into Luffy's adventures retrospectively when at the end of his journey, and they're going to realize, oh my God, Emperor Buggy the Clown and Emperor Straw Hat Luffy fought in this village, and that is going to become a site of significance. Like, there's going to be a fucking plaque built here to commemorate this battle, and I think that is absolutely fucking hilarious that is a thing that has to exist in the series, that whatever like historian goes around cataloging Luffy's journey will be like, oh my God, these emperors had like a long-lasting conflict. Oh my God, one is the apprentice of and one is the childhood best friend of Emperor red-haired Shanks. This is the most miraculous battleground, and frankly there was so much devastation because of the buggy balls after that it kind of does look like two emperors clashed here. Yeah, their fight destroyed the whole town. Exactly. The two emperors clashed and the entire town was annihilated.
That is and
then the other thing, like, the other thing is, buggy balls are hilarious for me to think about because I think Buggy could have iced basically any crew. Now, probably not the fishmen because they would have seen him coming, sunk his ship from underwater. You're done. Like, but if he gets a jump on anyone, like, what ship in East Blue survives a buggy ball?
I don't know. I don't know if anyone does. He's such a Looney Tunes. It's so funny him having that. Like, you imagine Bugs Bunny with a cannonball. This is what it is. That's literally what's happening with Buggy.
What's your favorite arc, you think, in your opinion, Goofy? Like, if you were to look back and you were to name it out.
Whole Cake Island?
Absolutely. And when you guys sent me the list of ones to talk about and you said Whole Cake Island was taken, I was like, I know Mel got that one.
Well, first of all, Mel got that one.
I knew it. I knew it.
We were just talking right before you hopped on about the fact that I think Whole Cake should be split in two, and we should do one conversation about up to the meeting and one after the meeting. Because like they are thematically and structurally so different. So if you wanna book Whole Cake Island at part 2, because I'm pretty sure Mel wants the Sanji part more.
No,
I bet she did. She
No,
knows that's
she
the one that
did.
I wanted to
That
pick
was
too.
You want the Sanji part 2? Darn.
Well, of course I do. It's the whole arc is just Shrek 2. Like it's literally just Shrek 2. It's the best arc ever. I love Whole Cake Island so much.
Oh my god.
That's amazing to me. So many people say Whole Cake Island.
Yeah.
So
it's
it wasn't
amazing.
Whole Cake Island, but
Okay, walk me through. If you were trying to argue
Why
to
is it
me
Shrek
to change
2?
my mind, why would you say Whole Cake Island is the best thing?
Okay. Luffy telling Sanji that he can't become Pirate King without Sanji. Sanji's second backstory. Katakuri. Big News Morgans and Stussy crashing the wedding part. There's literally a wedding. Like, when do we get to crash weddings in One Piece? That never happens. It's so fun. And Brook is being funny. He's got like he slept with Big Mom. I have this memory of that happening. Is that true? I've got to be remembering something wrong. But
it's literally true. It's not figuratively true.
Why do I remember him laying inside of Big Mom's bed? What happened? I don't even want to remember. You know what? Brooke slept with Big Mom.
That did happen.
That happened. I don't even want to remember why. That happened, and that's why I would say, I mean, it's so fun. It's a really fun arc that also gives you some really hard-hitting moments. My favorite moment, I guess I should think about this before I say it, but I constantly keep coming back to this moment. One of my favorite moments, for sure, in One Piece is the fight between Luffy and Sanji, and how at the end, that speech Luffy gives me chills every time I watch that scene, because he's like, you thought you would turn me away that easily? Every time you kick me, you're the one that gets hurt. I can hear the music, Sanji crying, Sanji's family laughing at him. And then Reiju's the only one that asks, like, we can stop if you want. And he's like, just keep going. And then Luffy's literally just like, I can literally hear the music. Even if spears come raining down on me, I will be here starving to death until you come back. And Sanji just bawling his eyes out. Like, that is one of my favorite moments in all of One Piece.
I just love this because Whole Cake Island, like, don't get me wrong, we had a lot of thinking on Whole Cake Island in it. And we did there was a really deep political talk, but I did not have any idea how, like, some people would die on the hill of Whole Cake.
Whole Cake used to be my favorite arc, but like, I've been eating good. I feel like the stretch from Whole Cake up to Egghead were made for me. Like, it's all the type of shit I love most. But no, Whole Cake is great.
Okay, well then, what's your second favorite? If Whole Cake is your first, unabashedly.
Whole Cake is unabashedly my first. I would say my second is probably it would have to be Water 7 and Enies Lobby, like those two wrapped together.
Isn't it crazy? So here's what's crazy. We will have to separate those for doing the series, but I don't think anyone's booked those yet. If you want to pick one of them, but you gotta pick one.
Water 7 and Whole Cake Island, would you do Water 7, would you do together, or are we dividing that? I can't remember.
I think for our series, we got to divide it, because I think they're so separate in their identity, despite being the same story, that I feel like you got to separate them to talk about.
What I'm trying to say is, in my opinion, Goofy got robbed. Like, robbed!
Goofy got robbed by Whole Cake being
I did.
picked before anything else.
And I knew what happened
Mel was the first person to pick anything. Yeah.
I knew what happened to when you gave me that list and you said what was taken. I was like, I know it was her. I knew it, and I was like, okay. Then suddenly, because I was psyched to talk about Orangetown, then when I thought about Whole Cake Island, I was like, okay, yeah, no, this is not that I did it. It's like, God, my favorite arc ever. But yeah, of course you got it. Of course you got it.
Yeah, when we were talking right away and we said we were thinking of doing this, she was like, Whole Cake.
I knew it. She pulled the trigger instantly. Every time, man.
Literally, when the series, when going back through for the reread was in planning stages, she was like, all right, booking it. Before we had a schedule, before we had any plans at all, she was like, yep, mine.
That's how I met Mel for the first time. All I said was like, "Hey, we could talk about Whole Cake Island for as long as you want." And she was like, "I'm there." That was literally our first conversation ever. And she was so ready. And then we talked. It was like a 4-hour conversation about Sanji at Whole Cake Island. 4 hours unedited, just like pure. I don't even think either one of us got tired either. She definitely didn't. She was ready. She's literally the archive of anything Sanji. If you think of a Sanji moment in the series, but you can't place it, she has like a timestamp ready for you. Like she can literally like.
Have you ever talked to her about how she feels about the whole Sanji invisible fruit that he wanted?
Yeah. She gave me a take on that. That is or I don't know if she gave me this, but we talked about it in one of the videos. How it's kind of sad. Because it's like the story wants us to believe that he wanted that immediately from the beginning just to peep on ladies. But when we see him wanting that fruit, he was an innocent little kid. So it's like, why else would he have wanted that fruit? Except like, you're an abused kid locked in a cage. What if he wanted that fruit just because he wanted to disappear from where he was at currently? That's so sad. That is so sad. And Oda just wants us to laugh at it like, yeah, he's a pervert. And it's like, oh my God.
I think we should talk to Mel and see if she wants company on Whole Cake.
I would
you
love
just
that.
feel
She's
bad for Goofy losing his spot.
Listen,
Yeah,
when I read this, Drawk, I'm not going to lie to you. I was like, Goofy is funny and loves the interesting parts of this thing, and we have given him fucking Orange Town?
You feel like we've cheated him by giving him Orange Town? Look,
Orange Town!
Rereading Orange Town is so weird because I remembered liking it so much, and I still enjoyed rereading it, and it's funny to think about where we got and how much to recontextualize. But we all do have to agree that we like it less. So I get where you're coming from.
If compared to Whole Cake Island, of course. I mean, I love every single arc in this story and could talk about every arc for hours. But Whole Cake Island?
I'll tell you.
Are you kidding?
I'll tell you. I disagree. I disagree on one point with what you said. Because next week, our Syrup Village enjoyer is going to have to defend it for me because I don't love Syrup Village. Otherwise, I do agree that I love every arc in the series, but it is compared to Whole Cake. All right. You know what? I can promise that we'll ask Mel, and if Mel is okay sharing it, first half of Whole Cake, you can come over.
Fair.
I think that it should be both of them because I think Goofy was robbed.
I do. That's the only I would love to be there. The only reason why I'm kind of shrugging was just like I want to go, but not like if it's like because she's just gonna be like, he wants to come on board, huh? Well, I'll think about it, I suppose. And then she'll like let you know like a day before. I guess he can come. Like I can see it now. She just likes messing with me.
Just binge reread in advance, assuming she'll say yes.
Oh, she's saying yes. She is definitely saying yes. She enjoys your company. I know she does.
I just feel so robbed. I can't wait to tell her that to her face. Like, so did you know you were robbing me when you picked, or did you just want to rob everyone? Was this personal, or did you just want to do this to everyone else?
It's funny because so many people say that Dressrosa is her favorite arc. And yet
I guess maybe because of the Dofi, I guess maybe, but
yeah, no, because she was very clear that she wanted Whole Cake without even a breathing pause before we'd even made a show.
I would always I imagine that's how I met. Like I met her on I saw like some of the tweets she was making about Sanji and how much she liked him, and I was like, you know what? Yeah, same. And then immediately it was like 4 hours of Whole Cake Island. So like, yeah, she is the archive. She is the archive.
I didn't know that Sanji was her very favorite character. I mean, it's pretty sad. I just didn't know because I hadn't been allowed out in the real world. I hadn't been allowed to talk to any One Piece people or read any shit. So the very first time I talked on her show for a minute, and she was like, "Who's the character that you're loving?" And I'm like, "Well, I really like Sanji," and I was about to apologize, and everyone was like, "Yeah, sucking up to Mel," and I was like, "Oh, do I look like a suck up? Is she really into Sanji?" And then later I found I was like, I look like I'm kissing ass.
No, she loves it. She literally did. I was worried the same thing when I first started talking to her, but no, she's happy in any context where she could just talk about Sanji. Do you know what she told me her favorite scene in all of One Piece is? And you'll never believe this. She told me her favorite scene in One Piece is Sanji crying outside of Pudding's window. I couldn't believe it. I was like, of all of them? She was like, I just like it so much. He's so pathetic. I love it.
Funny.
I was
He-
like,
Do
what?
you,
He is so real.
I struggle to
in
imagine
that.
having an answer to that question that ready at
She
all,
had it
let alone it being
immediately.
something that sad.
She said it without
do
hesitation.
you have an answer?
No,
Do you
I
have
do
a
not have an answer. I'd have to
I
think
don't
for
either.
hours.
That's insane.
She's got it. She had it just like that. She said it stale faced and everything. I was like, I
Now I
cannot
feel
believe this.
upset that I don't have a favorite scene in One Piece.
See, this is how you know when your autistic level is slightly lower than someone else's is when
Wait.
they have a catalog for information that you don't
Yeah.
have.
Wait,
When
Dude,
they've
yeah.
cataloged information about something they like further than you, they're a tier above you on the autistic hierarchy.
I
she
do have
is-
a
she is
favorite
S tier.
scene. I do.
Oh, yeah.
I do have a favorite scene, and it is Ivankov singing when we get through the prison and we make it through the forest, and Ivankov is on the stage and the lights are down on her. That scene for me, that was everything. I was just like, oh, this thing has just gotten to a new level.
That was really good.
What comes to mind for me? What comes to mind to me if I try to think of a favorite scene is just the Gear 5 moment, but that's just like it made me smile. I don't want to commit to that being a favorite just because it came to mind first.
No, you can
Yeah,
commit to it.
that's-
You know, you can get
yeah.
rid of it later.
I'm aware I could. I choose not to.
Okay, Goofy, what about
Yeah.
you?
I would say, like the moment with Luffy and Sanji and Whole Cake Island, like that entire interaction is really great. But I don't know if that's like I would really have to think about it because Robin's "I Want to Live" is so good. It's
God,
so
right?
good.
It's hard.
And-
It's hard to pick something like that because it feels cliche.
Yeah.
No.
Oh, the one other one that maybe this is cliche or not, I'd really like Jinbei whenever he is, whenever Luffy wakes up after Marineford and Jinbei is like, Luffy, I get it. You've lost a lot. But think about what you still have. And then Luffy remembers each of the Straw Hats one by one. That scene, that scene fixed something inside me. Like I was grieving something heavy. And that scene literally, like I was like, oh my God, I was crying so much. That scene is so good. So maybe
That is
one,
a
I guess.
really fair take. I love the part when Luffy puts his hat down. And we watch it change the seasons. Drawk did a picture of it that I use as my background.
Yeah.
And I like it because I saw that scene and I thought about how often people don't think about the time, energy, and effort it takes to change yourself as a person. And in order to show that, Oda had Luffy put his most prized possession down, almost like Luffy was saying, you know what, I realized I need to do more work before I put this back on. And then he put aside his treasure and he did the time, effort, and work to make himself the person who deserved to wear it.
So awesome. So awesome. I never even thought about that. That's really cool.
So there's like,
Man.
when you say it and start to ask the question, like, what's your favorite scene? I actually love that question because talk about forcing you to think about the story in a new light.
It's just so crazy that she had that one loaded and ready to just like.
That's
go.
the thing, right?
Insane.
To just
Like,
immediately be like, yeah. To immediately have it, but also beyond that, for the immediately you have it to be like, that fucking depressing.
Sanji crying outside the window when he's trying to light the cigarette in the rain. I was like, over. I want to live.
Oh.
Yes. I was like, what?
Or is
I
this
lo- I-
person the ace? Thank you for loving me.
Oh, that's a really good one.
Oh.
Over that one too, I guess. Like that's a good one too. That's a really good one. The funniest thing that she's at, like just one last mail. I have to, because this is the funniest thing ever. I asked her. It was a Sanji scene. I had this vivid memory. It was like a fever dream that I had of Sanji grunting at a camera. Like it was a weird, like he was grunting at a camera, and it was like a news station. He was grunting at news, and it was going. It's a filler episode, and Mel just like. She reads the manga. Like, I don't know if she's seen any filler episodes. So I was like confused. I needed it for a video. So I was trying to find it. And she was like, oh, I know it. It's episode this. It's right there. It's when he was at the news station at the filler episode. And he's grunting at the camera for 18 hours straight. I was like, why did you know this? Oh my God.
What?
So impressive.
Oh, it's insane. It's insane.
She only read
That's
manga.
crazy.
She didn't do the anime.
I don't know if she might have watched the anime, but her knowledge storage, like her archive, is of manga moments. And every time I would mention like a funny anime moment, she would say, "Well, I, can read, so I read the manga." So, she makes fun of me for not reading.
I used to make fun of everyone else too, but that was really, really pretentious on my point because I wasn't allowed to watch the anime. So I was just being a jerk.
To be fair,
I was told we were given parameters.
To?
No, I was given parameters of what I was allowed to do. The whole show was based upon me reading what was picked ahead for me, and then I would read it, and then I'd have to make predictions. And
and you definitely never broke the rules and read ahead, not even once.
Well, I must say I did read ahead a couple of times, a couple of minor times, but almost never. Except for constantly. What do you think is the funniest arc in your opinion?
The funniest arc?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Oh man. I would say Thriller Bark if it wasn't like Thriller Bark is actually super like depressing and disturbing. So like that kind of when you really see what's happening, it's kind of like that kind of gets in the way of like really funny moments, like Luffy putting the zombie back in the ground. A hilarious moment. It's brought down by the invisible dude and Nami, and that scene made me deeply uncomfortable. I hate that scene. And then he licked Robin too. He's my least favorite character, like of all. Like I was so happy when he died. I wish we could have seen.
Yeah, can we all?
Like I hate that character.
People come at me for my favorite villain being Blackbeard, but can we be real that Blackbeard has actually done a community service by off-screening Absalom?
Yeah, I get him out of here. I hated him so. And then there's also I forgot what the character's name is, but it's the zombie actress that Gecko
Sindri, I think.
Sindri. He brings her back to life, so she's basically a zombie slave. That's messed up.
Yep.
And then it's like, and then the other guy is just running around licking people. Is this just? It's an island full of predators, okay? And I don't like that about Thriller Bark.
Sometimes I feel like Oda made Thriller Bark as funny as he did just so that he could get into the dark fucking shit that he brought into it without breaking everyone's spirit. Like
that had to be it. Yeah,
hey,
I agree.
We're gonna do a horror arc, so I need to make sure the moments of levity are as funny as I can possibly fucking manage because we're gonna get into it, y'all.
It had to be it
Thriller
because
Bark
it's
was
so
good.
funny.
But it was so gross, so disturbing.
Yes.
Every single time I look back on it, I'm like, can I take out these weird sexual things in order to be able to actually just watch the meat and potatoes of the arc? Because there's shit you're missing too. Like if we're gonna talk about the best moments, what happened? Nothing happened. Oh, shut up. Zoro standing on a cliff saying nothing happened. That is one of the best moments of the entire manga. And yet it's in an arc where a dude like touches Nami when she's showering and licks
That's
Robin.
what I'm saying. Yeah, like Thriller Bark is probably my least favorite arc for literally just that scene. I hated that. And then they follow it up with a gag immediately after. Just like you guys were saying, like literally just for levity. Like Usopp comes in and then Nami's shirtless and he just bows to her like, "Oh, thank you so much for showing me some titties." And it's like I mean, I get you didn't know what was happening. I get it, but it's like I'm still deeply uncomfortable because Oda made me watch what just happened. Like so I don't like it, but but nothing happened is really cool. I also really like how Sanji knows that Zoro like that happened to Zoro and it's like a secret that they both keep. And also Brooke also keeps it too. Yeah, but Sanji was the first person. Like Sanji was trying to take that burden too, but
and then he sent him off. Which is really right-hand man actions.
Yeah, I agree. That's what I'm saying.
About
like
this,
go ahead.
Talking about this has me think about like the thing I was noticing reading Orange Town again, and honestly reading Romance Dawn before that. Like, this is the right time to reread One Piece after Egghead's finished because now that the plots are coming back together, like all of these things are recontextualized. Well, not all of them. So some of them are recontextualized. Like you get to be a little bit less mad about Absalom being a creep because you know that he's fucking dead now. Great.
Yeah.
Immediately great. But then other stuff like the nothing happened scene, I think is made, I don't know about better or worse or just more, but I think more interesting by knowing that Kuma was actually like, man, I was lying when I said it would kill him for sure, but I did think it would knock him unconscious for a few days. And the fact that he's standing, good job, bud. That's impressive.
Yeah, that is it's I think it's only made better for sure. Just because that right there that you described is even more funny to me because it's like, oh, Zoro was never gonna die. It was just gonna hurt like hell. So that makes it even more funny that he's like, you're just standing there. And the thing is, Zoro was just aura farming. He really wanted to pass out, but he was like, I'm not gonna let him see me fall.
Yes.
So I gotta stand here until somebody finds me. Is crazy. Like he didn't fall until Saji came up.
It's funny that not only was he aura farming, not only was he aura farming, he was aura farming to a guy that he assumed was his enemy, and it worked. The dude was like, damn,
he walked away.
Man.
Yeah, literally, he was like, yeah, you clean. All right, y'all be easy. He literally left. Like that's so funny.
And we see it first in Orangetown because he stands there, but then he falls on the ground. But you see him then the next time when he was in, oh fuck, that's a good moment too. When he's with number 3 and he's getting turned into a wax, and they're like, "What are you doing?" And he's like, "I'm picking a pose. You all do what you want, but I'm going to be turned into a statue in a cool pose."
Like, yo, I can't generate the strength to swing my sword hard enough to cut my legs off anymore, so I'm doomed. You're gonna be shitty statues. I'm gonna look fucking rad.
I'll never forget Vivi's face when he said that. Vivi was like, "Oh my god, I'm gonna die here next to these idiots. Like that's what's gonna happen." He's literally. Why would that even be the thing that your mind goes? I can't escape the way. I guess I'll just cut my legs off. I can still be the world's greatest swordsman with no legs. And it's like, dude,
moving into fuck. I don't have enough strength to get my legs. I guess I'll have the best statue out of all of us.
Jeez, he's so dumb. He's so
the statue
dumb.
was one of my favorite, funniest moments. NX love with doing the same thing.
I love the idea of the alt timeline where Usopp didn't save them. Mr. 3 comes back and is like, all right, killed these guys. Wow, this guy got style. Look at this. Look at this guy.
Good God.
Miss Golden Week looking at him like for real though. Can I paint that? That's a good fucking statue.
Yeah, that's this guy looks pretty clean. He looks like this guy, you know, I don't know. These guys were our enemies, but you know something about this guy. I think we want to display him in the middle of our village. I think we should. It's something about it.
Yo, Crocodile, I got you a late birthday gift.
Yeah.
Actually, the more I think about it, the more I like that one. I hated it at first, the dinosaur one. I was like,
Little Garden?
Yeah, Little Garden was meh. And then the end, I ended
Little
up loving
Garden's
it.
Little Garden's another arc that's currently being made better because now we're seeing more of Dory and Brogy and their story and what all of that means.
You're not wrong. We are actually coming back around in a way that's adding strength to the story, and going back through is, you're right, it's fun. Like in this one, the idea of treasure, we hadn't heard about it forever. And then in this last arc, he said about his son, "You have given me the ultimate treasure." And we hadn't really talked about it since like fucking Orangetown without oranges. Oh shit, I'm supposed to do a plug. Hey there, YouTube, it's me, Mama Drawk. Subscribe, like, do the things. This is Goofy. Goofy is hanging out with us doing Tin Talk, where we're going back through the entire One Piece. He was robbed. He was robbed badly by Melody.
We've decided this arc doesn't count. Yeah,
Melody stole the arc that he wanted. What arc did you want to have, Goofy?
Whole Cake Island.
Damn right. And Melody stole it immediately, happily, and joyfully.
Oh yeah, yeah. She took off like a thief in the night. Yeah.
So he's been robbed. So we're going to give him a better one in the future, so he doesn't have to be Orangetown, which we realized doesn't even have oranges.
I mean, we were going to give 2 either way because, frankly, the people who are doing the early East Blue arcs with us deserve to come back for the ones where there's more to talk about, because we got to talk about these. But
it's just where the town is named something they don't have anything of. They have no oranges.
And I think we're all mad about that.
Oh, and you're going to say Bisu Village is full of the Bisus.
Sorry, YouTube, you don't need to be a part of this anymore. Do the thing. I was gonna say there are some bangers that I didn't think about though for arcs that I was like, that's actually a banger arc that I'm looking forward to going back into. Like I hated Punk Hazard. I just hated it.
Yeah.
But now
like when you were first going through it?
Yes. I
Yeah,
just was
I
like,
get
ugh. How did you
I
feel
understand
about
I don't think it's
Hazard?
anyone's favorite.
It sucked.
Yeah, I was I don't really remember my first time going through because I was trying so desperately to get caught up that I know that I didn't skip any arcs, but I know that I probably thought about doing that in Punk Hazard. I'm sure there's just no way because like I'm sure that I thought about skipping through when they started eating the dragon. I was like, all right, how much of this is plot that I need right now? Just be honest. How much of this do I need to see? Then they met Kiemon's legs just run around. I was like, okay, how much do I really need to pay attention to this? It was all of it. It always is all of it. But like,
it is. It's a piss off. I was thinking that when I was looking back on Punk Hazard that I actually do really want to read it again because I have this new theory, this new hot take that Oda hides really important things in his lesser popular arcs.
He does. He absolutely. I think he does that in the movies that come out too, and like the maybe even the games. Like he'll like hide things that have not like come out yet.
Yes.
For real, there's been so much lately that my mom was theorizing a ton of stuff based off of Film Red, and I can't remember the details, but there's been so goddamn much happening lately that makes it seem like Film Red was definitely teasing at stuff, especially because she was theorizing before we watched Film Red about the idea of like the bell and the drums of liberation being part of some music that's going to summon an entity, and also talking about the idea of Emu channeling a demon from another dimension called the Abyss. And this is before this is getting more confirmed. We've labeled it the Abyss now that that's been said. God. And then we watched Film Red finally, and it's like, oh yeah, a magical song that summons a devil monster. Cool.
I was very happy about that. I'm not gonna lie.
That's
I was like,
true.
I was like, screw y'all.
So many of the theories she had already had were just like blatantly being done in Film Red.
Good
and it totally leads into my idea of all of the different worlds inside of all of the devil fruits being connected, like mirror, door, and then you have the music one where there's a whole other world there, and that there must be a connection between them that allows movement of people throughout them in dimensions. So Film Red kind of really put that one on red.
Oh my god.
I get to do dad jokes whenever I want as a mom. That's a given.
Nailed it. I love it. That's true though. I've always believed that like he just teases things that he like. To me, it gives me a reason to consume like other One Piece content, even though it's not canon. But a lot of stuff has come. Yeah. I'm pretty sure didn't the Shanks in a chest, did that come from Film Red too, or no?
That came not just from a Film Red. That came from a movie brochure for Japanese film goers to Film Red. Somehow the movie never touched on that. It was a Japanese brochure that came with your ticket.
Are you kidding me? Can I read it? Where is that?
What the hell? So, but we're all we just all have to take that as like that this happened.
That's gospel, yeah.
Oh my gosh.
I didn't know about that.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Shanks having been found in a treasure chest as a kid by Roger. That being canon, genuinely, and I'm not joking, comes from promotional extra material that came with your ticket from Japanese movie theaters on opening weekend.
He gives zero shits. He will just hide shit wherever he feels like it.
And it's probably true. I hate this. The fact that Oda... See, that's what I'm saying. Oda does shit like that, and it's like, but that is what is going to happen, so you better go see this movie in Japan, huh? You better go watch this. You gotta go watch Film Red. Like, he literally... That's how every One Piece trailer sounds to me. Like, yeah, I better go see this, because there might be something in there that I need to see.
Hell.
And you'll be screwed. You know what I really liked when I was thinking about Orangetown, though? It's amazing how much character establishment they did in this one. The idea that Nami is obsessed with treasure, and yet she constantly is giving it up for the greater good. The whole Luffy will do anything to act as a crew, and crew is his number one thing. He thinks his hat is the number one thing, but the real thing is crew and being a pirate crew together. The whole Zoro pretending he's above it all, and yet the minute that Luffy goes missing, right after meeting him, he does everything in his power to catch him and save him and be his crew member. Like, it establishes so much rich shit right away. And that shit carries on for the entire manga. It's pretty impressive that he makes these moments and then we live them the whole time and we just see them get deeper. They don't go against, unlike some people, George R.R. Martin, who go against what their characters did in the beginning and make them look like asshats. These characters deepen into themselves.
So I fully agree. Somewhere in that, I was reminded of something that Mugiwara said earlier about Buggy is, cartoon bastard, in response to when I was talking about Luffy having a bit of trouble with him. And I realized something. Throughout the entire East Blue, none of the people who take themselves seriously felt like they could even stand up to Luffy. The one dude that felt like he posed a threat was the other guy using toon logic.
Yeah, no, 100, and that's why I actually do believe what you said about, like, Buggy, especially with his buggy balls, he was a problem. Because think about what was that guy? Captain Kuro, the guy with 1,000 plans.
Yeah.
Every single all them plans couldn't stop him from getting punched in the face by one lunatic. That's so crazy. Sorry.
Yeah, you 1,000 plans. How many of them stand up to a very strong boy punches you in the face?
Yeah, I just feel like if no plan that you have accounts for that, I just feel like what's the point? I just feel like there's no point.
I mean, it's the exact same thing you can say about Crocodile. Like, a great scheme you have there. I'm just gonna throw one guy at it.
Yeah, literally, that's all it took. I mean, in Crocodile's defense, he had contingencies and everything, and Luffy just kept trying to fight him again. I would have been confused too if I was Crocodile, to be honest. But yeah, it was all bullshit. I don't. They all should have tried harder to. They see Luffy and they're like, all right, this guy's not going to dismantle my entire criminal organization like that. There's no need to worry about it, and he does. He literally does. It
is genuinely crazy that only one villain has said, I'm not going to underestimate you, and then not proceeded to immediately underestimate him, and it's just Katakuri.
It's literally only Katakuri.
Like,
boy, yeah.
Katakuri's the only person that was like, no, I'm going to treat you fucking seriously. You keep just rolling up, and
he was trying to transform, and Katakuri was like, why would I let you do that? I was like, I love you, Katakuri. Katakuri was like, no, I'm trapped in the mirror dimension fighting a lunatic right now. I don't want to be here, okay? Like, I'm not letting you transform. Yeah, I need to lock in. There's a wedding going on outside. He's crashed the wedding, ruined everything. Like, I need to beat him up and get back outside. Who knows what everybody else is doing out there? I've been fighting this crackhead for 11 hours.
Someone pointed out Kaido's master plan was to get beaten by Joy Boy, so he did win. And admittedly, that's true, but that's such a cop-out to be like, look, I win, I'm Joy Boy. I lose, he's Joy Boy. Win-win for me.
Yeah, that is really... So I just think he was drunk when he even found that dream. I like to think that he woke up in the volcano, and people were like, you did it, Kaido. You got beat by Joy Boy. He was like, what the fuck was I think? What are you talking about? I got beat.
Was that
was my dream? That wasn't my dream. What are you talking about? What do you mean? Who was that guy, by the way?
That's hilarious. The thing about King saves him, and he's like, don't worry, Joy Boy happened. And he's like, what do you mean Joy Boy happened? I'm Joy Boy.
What are you talking about? Joy Boy happened. I know. I can't wait.
I know he was confused.
That's because even that dream, that's like something a high person or a drunk person says. Like, my dream is to be beaten by Joy Boy. And it's like, that's not a dream, dude. Like, that's not something you can work toward. Fully, I think he was just drunk. I really think when he's sober, he's going to be like, yeah, I don't know what the fuck I was talking about. I'm sorry.
Still, we're in a volcano, and volcano sober the shit out of you, like, so fast.
Yeah, literally. So, I was like,
I love the idea of a conversation later between Kaido and Big Mom, where Kaido's like, Big Mom, how'd you lose? And she's like, well, they broke all my bones from inside. I healed them by forcing them to come to life. Then one of them made a giant hole. The other one repeatedly railgunned me into it. Oh, okay. You tried? Yeah, I tried to scramble out. What about you? Okay, so the boy made a fist the size of Onigashima. That's crazy. And I flew at it.
Intentionally.
I don't know why.
Big Mom pauses.
I thought that was gonna work. I don't know why I thought that was gonna work. But
in retrospect,
it was a fist the size of Onigashima. Yeah, and your plan was fly at it?
No, this is probably what actually happened because remember, Big Mom had to tell Kaido dodge. Like he was about to try to tank Zoro slash, and Big Mom was like,
That's actually true.
Kaido dodge.
Without someone around to remind him he can dodge, he's like, I'm probably gonna be fine.
She had to do a double take. She was like, Kaido, dodge, Kaido, dodge. So yeah.
Kaido, he's strong enough to have gotten up here. He can hurt you. Dodge.
I believe so. Yeah, I love to think that he woke up in that volcano, and maybe Big Mom woke up with him. Like, yeah, so that damn Straw Hat. Turns out he was Joy Boy. Kaido was like, damn, I've been drunk for the past 2 years. I've just been doing shit on Wano. I'll be honest. I don't know what. That was who? Like, I really think he's gonna wake up like, who was that guy? Why was he so mad?
Oh
man.
I don't know why more people don't put Wano down as one of their favorite.
Wano's great. I
love Wano.
I think Wano was right up there for me. I haven't gone back.
We're talking,
but I'm gonna pull a melon now, and I'm gonna go back through. I'm gonna figure out my favorite moment if it kills me, and I'm just gonna pull that shit out on people. Like, it's this. Like, just like immediate, hard and fast. People will be like, "Holy shit!" I'm gonna get it out before Melon. She'll go when thaw, and I'll be like,
"Yeah, that's the difference. Is you're training to raise your autistic power level. It come naturally."
Yeah,
like she was, and the level of sureness. I don't think I've ever seen anybody that sure in my entire life. Like she was like, no.
But it tells you a lot about what she likes about him, eh? Like it tells you everything you need to know. Yeah,
immediately.
She likes that he suffers.
No. She sees the soft, mushy soul inside of him. So it almost feels like she's saying that thing she admires the most about him is that he has to act like a badass all the time while his insides are busy just being the mushiest soul who just wants love.
We were talking when we were reading the chapter that I felt like a genius that I was going to crack the code and make a video about being like, oh yeah, the power that I think hurts the immortal god knights is the power of love, and which first of all, if it's right, that's going to be awesome for Sanji. Mm-hmm. And then as I was about to try to record it, Grand Line Review made his video where he's like, yeah, I think the power is the power of love, and I was just like, fuck. But I do actually believe it, and I think it's going to be great for Sanji because he's already been like, nah, I've got love power, and that's why I can kick lasers.
Yeah, and like I said, he learned with Ivankov and the girls.
That is so funny. It's so funny that his training was just running from the Okama. Like, it's literally like, it's the Tom Cruise Family Guy joke. Like, he's just running from his gay thoughts on the beach for 2 years. And that's where his hockey, his strength come from. Like, he's running on the beach for 2 years. First of all, I don't believe him.
Space.
Yeah, I don't believe. I think they did something else for sure. He didn't just run on the beach for 2 years. And if he did, that's insane.
He also learned to cook and put
he's lying.
Food.
Yeah, he was having the time of his life on that island, though. We have footage in 4K of him literally having the time of his life on that island before he finally was like,
that is worth noting. My mom has a belief that he puts hockey in food that I've come around to. That's the special cooking Ivankov learned. Or maybe it's love hockey. Maybe it's love. The secret ingredient is love.
Well, they say that all the time about food. People will always tell you when they're cooking, oh, it's because I put love in my food. And I'm like, how can you do that when cooking is the fucking worst?
Yeah, that's how can you do that when cooking sucks, dude? Cooking is so much better. I agree. That's why this video is sponsored by Sanji.
The problem with cooking isn't so much that cooking one time sucks. It's that we need to continue eating every day.
I agree with that. If I could, I would, you know what? If I could eat like even just once a week, I would put in so much effort in cooking, dude. Yes. I would go stupid, and I would cook my ass off, and I would be Sanji.
And if that was it, if that was what you had to do, and now you were good to go, and then once a week you put it in, fucking A. Yep. I'd cook all the time. Every once a week I'd get really into it.
But you tell me I gotta do all this shit again tomorrow? No, thank you.
Am I gonna wait
again? What do you think? What do you think is going to be the first arc interesting enough that we're able to focus on it the whole video?
I'm sorry, it was not this one. The other good
It's not
thing
going to
about
be this. I had
Orange-
fun. I liked it.
the other
I
good
like
thing
those
about
yeah.
Orange, the other good thing about Orangetown though was it was the first time we saw kind of a cool ship, like Buggy's little mini ship the dudes were on. I was like, oh, that's sweet. That's a
I remember
cute
that.
ship. Yeah,
That was cute.
Yeah.
I remember the dude on the unicycle fighting Zoro. I thought that was
Yes.
funny.
yes,
Kabaji, right? Yeah.
yeah. I also started
Yeah,
to ask
the
like what
thing
the
I
hell I got
forgot-
into because I was like, what's with this lion guy who says that's
I-
his hair?
I don't know if the anime didn't have it, but I didn't remember Zoro being like, "Oh yeah, you think this is a cut?" and cutting himself again to be like, "I don't care if I'm cut, but if that." It is
What?
the most absolute.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think it maybe didn't happen in the anime. In the middle of the fight, Kabaji keeps kicking his wound, and he's like, "How are you going to defeat me with such a grievous wound?" He's like, "You think that's a grievous wound?" And he cuts himself again in the same spot,
Yes,
and is
he
like,
does.
"Yeah, just fucking nothing. I'm gonna kick your ass with any
I'm
wound."
looking that up right now. Because maybe if I
Yes.
forgot that, I'll never forgive myself. If it's in
Also,
I'm
you
just like,
People are saying it's
know-
not in the anime, and that's hilarious.
Also,
Oh my
you should know
God.
that for a little while, it is gray every time it gets into a new arc because it's a color one. Like it's
Oh.
grayscale in the next one too.
So apparently that wasn't in the anime, and I think, God damn, this boy is such a try-hard dumbass. I love the idea of him being like, "This isn't even a real cut. I'll show you a real cut."
Yeah, but
oh
that
my
just shows
God.
that he
I
and
see
Luffy
it
are made
now.
for each other. I mean, Luffy cuts his eye to prove that he's strong enough to be a pirate, and then this is what Zoro thinks is a good way to show his enemy. But think about it for real now. You're an enemy. A dude is like, "You think I'm hurt now?" and then cuts himself. How about this? You'd be
I mean,
like,
I'm off my game for sure. I am
I'm
cooked.
leaving. I'm leaving immediately.
Exactly. You think you can hurt me? No, I don't,
I'm
sir.
leaving.
God, okay, this reminds me of a bit that I love where I came up with a thing I wanted to do. I might still one day. I wanted to make a series of YouTube shorts called Scenes from a One Piece of Bridge that'll never exist because no one should ever try to make a One Piece of Bridge because it'd be way too hard. And my favorite bit I came up with for it was the Luffy Katakuri fight of just having Luffy and Katakuri standing against each other and Luffy's exhausted and Katakuri's just like, "Face it, Straw Hat. Anything you can do, I can do better." And Luffy goes, "What about hitting you?" And Katakuri stops and is like, what do you mean? Luffy's like, "I hit you. You didn't hit you." Katakuri pauses, cuts to the shot where he stabs himself, cuts back to Luffy. Damn, he's good.
That whole fight is just funny to me. Like that's the video that like made my channel like people start like being interested in me. Like that whole fight is funny because like Katakuri is literally like, and this is not even from like even just his perspective. Like if you just watch the anime and like look at the way Katakuri is responding to situations and how he's just actually smart. Like it's almost like Katakuri is out of the story that he's in because he seems to be immune to being an idiot, like, or even being cocky or arrogant. He's literally just trying to get through this stressful ass day. And he's trapped in a mirror dimension fighting a lunatic. And then as soon as they get in there, he breaks the exit. And then Katakuri's like, so my sister can get me out. How do you plan on leaving? And the look in his eyes being, "Oh, I'll figure that out when I figure you out." Like that's insane. Then he fights him for like, dude, the whole fight is so funny because Katakuri is just a regular person fighting this lunatic.
You are not wrong. And he has respect for him, which you already talked about, which is really important. But the thing that I thought was so good about it, it's what I think Drawk was talking about that made me see this fight in a different way, is that he talked about how it was two people who had who really believed in honor and fought in a different way than everybody else fought.
I don't know how much Luffy believed in honor though, because when Katakuri stabbed himself, Luffy was like, "That's dumb. Pirates are allowed to team up on people."
No, I mean
Nothing wrong
honor
with you
to
teaming
fight
up on me and
so
murdering
hard
me?
right to the end. But you were talking
Oh,
about
yeah.
when you saw it, you were saying, yeah, they were both willing to do whatever it took to win. They weren't
Oh,
like,
absolutely.
"Let me pretend I can't do this." But no, but they were both like, "No, we are taking this fight to the very goddamn end."
Yeah, I take that as like it's actually even cool to me that Luffy is like I don't expect a fair fight, but I'm gonna be damn sure. Like I'm always going to fight a fair fight.
Yeah.
Like he's not phased by people fighting dirty,
Yes.
like at all. Which says something. I would not be that strong. I would be bitching and moaning the whole time. Like why does he? I would swear I would be
Why are
complaining.
you teaming up?
Yeah, I would be. All right, this is not.
I mean, we say Luffy wants to give a fair fight, but there's moments where he doesn't care. Like he jumps Big Mom and Kaido with the whole gang. Like, yeah, well, why not? Wano's on the line.
100%. He only does it like he only like has honor in moments where it's like he would lose respect for himself. But if he sees a need to jump somebody, we're jumping him. Like that is absolutely happening.
I'm gonna have a new favorite at the end of rereading One Piece. It's also weird. I just finished reading One Piece. I just caught up.
You did.
And so now I'm like, time to reread this bitch. And now I'm wondering if I'm going to have a new favorite, hearing it through other people's perspective as we go along.
I stand by.
Yeah, I was about to say.
You go.
I stand by whole cake. I would say.
Fascinating.
Everything.
I'm curious if rereading will get rid of any recency bias I have, because right now, like the 3 most recent arcs are in my top 4. It's Enies Lobby, Whole Cake, Wano, and then my number 1 currently is Egghead. I sat for a while, like I was like, it might just be recency bias, so I'm not going to say it's my favorite, but God, do I love Egghead Island.
Which is so
Egghead
weird.
was amazing.
Go ahead. Go ahead, Goofy.
Oh, I was just like Egghead was amazing, so I think that's reasonable for sure.
Yeah, I had a lot of shit happen during Egghead. I think I didn't, if I'm actually being honest when I'm thinking about it, I think it's the one that I paid the least attention to.
I mean, everybody's first catch-up arc is weird. Like, the first arc you catch up during hits you different than any other arc.
Yeah.
Like, it feels bizarre. You're not used to weekly reading. You don't take it in the same way.
I didn't like it.
Yeah. Yeah, I got caught up in Wano. That shit was torture. That shit was
So
actually...
do you find that you have a different perspective of Wano?
I love Wano. I don't, but I think that because I didn't understand why people... When I got caught up, it was in this crazy, chaotic time where people were having, in my opinion, the craziest takes ever. Like, there was the Zoro kills Kaido. There was the...
God, right. The raid will fail theory.
The raid will fail. The rail would... That's
still going on?
Dude, that's the one that I was like, okay, so maybe... But I just got caught up. I'm thinking, I don't think I know this story as good as these guys. I mean, they've been talking about One Piece and reading it. Like, I literally just got caught up. So what do I know? But come to find out, I was like, no, afterwards, I was like, then when both of those things wouldn't die, when Kaido was already punched in the volcano, that's when I knew. I was like, oh, so this is this is lunacy that I'm witnessing. This is something else. This is crazy.
That is a line that should be encapsulated and put in one of your videos. Oh, so this is lunacy. That's what's going on here. That's fantastic. That really helps me put this in perspective.
Yeah.
Oh, so this is lunacy is the exact vibe, though.
Is immediately, yeah. So it was like stuff like that was like trying to make me not like I would see so many tweets and different things like that I would feel like people were trying to make me hate Wano, and then even more afterwards, like the Wano like hate train was just like so going crazy. People having issues with so many things in Wano. Yamato is another thing. People were going crazy. So I'm just trying to enjoy the story. So like to rebel against that, I rebelled against it hard. Like, no, you know what? I'm having a good time. I put my foot down. I was like, I don't care what anybody's saying. I love Wano. And I still have that opinion. I haven't found anything that, I do wish we would have gotten some things in Wano, like Zoro's anger towards Orochi. I wish that could have been vindicated a little bit, like he would have. But then also, I like that Denjiro, the person that literally he disfigured himself because of how much rage he felt. Maybe that guy should have been the one to kill Orochi. To be honest, maybe that that should have been what happened.
Yes.
My defense, something I want to bring up, my love of Egghead is partially because for me, I love storytelling that I like big scale themes. I feel like people can get into small scale themes about characters and then big scale, large scale themes, like the themes of an arc or the just the broader stuff. I love large scale themes, and Egghead does this thing to sell the idea that the Straw Hats are world players in such a cool way, which is we're used to world players being off screened. And then as York is revealed as the villain, we cut away to show all of these people like Kobe and Garp and Law and Kid, who are now so far beneath Luffy that we see the resolution of their ship for once. And Luffy off-screens his problem because he's a big deal now. He's the world moving. And I think that's such a great, like, thematic way to display, hey, they're the big deal.
Yeah. I did think that was really cool too. Egghead Island is really cool. I think I have like the opposite of recency bias because the arcs that changed my life mean so much to me. Like it's hard to like put them up against like anything else, even though Kuma's backstory is so good.
I think.
Oh man!
I think I loved Wano so much. I felt like people kept telling me in the comments and stuff that a lot of people stopped liking One Piece as much after the time skip, and I was like, what? And then we got into the time skip, and I was like, are you all drunk? This is awesome. And I loved Wano, but when I think back on it now, I think that I wouldn't have loved Wano as much if I had caught up during it. That might have been really painful to read a chapter at a time. That might have actually killed my soul.
So painful. It was so painful.
Because
how long it was tough.
We were on that route for 2 years fighting Kaido. It was crazy.
Yep. Jesus Christ.
Yeah, but
every time I think about that backwards.
Egghead for me was pain. And don't get me wrong, there was amazing things in Egghead, and yet I still was like, holy shit, this is painful. How do people live reading so little at a time? That this is fucking killing me.
Yeah, I don't know what protected Wano from, because it was like a grueling experience, but I never like got on the story. I just felt like a lot of people were like I heard people talking about things that I just like loved, but they were like explaining it like people think that Yamato is a bad character. I love Yamato. Like I think Yamato is like is awesome, and the story with I thought Odin's story was good. I'm trying to think of things that people didn't like because I haven't heard of anything that I really agree with. Like, yeah, Wano should have did this better. I think I just like Wano.
I think there's a weird thing that happened where there was a lot more mature, serious, dark manga coming out at the time, and because of that, in the shonen space, and because of that, like it was in the Jujutsu Kaisen era, it was in the Chainsaw Man Book 1 era. So I feel like a lot of people wanted that from One Piece, and a lot of the critique started to take a very specific form of like demanding things One Piece was never going to do, demanding a level of brutality, demanding a level of edginess that it was never going to give. And I think if you were someone who liked what One Piece was, were seeing these critiques that were against what you enjoy about the series, it was probably easier to not feel that like, oh, I'm going to have a worse relationship with this arc, because all the general critiques around it, you're going to fully disagree with. And I think that's going to throw you off of being on that train.
Yeah, I like that, how you describe that, because I think that is what happened. Like a lot of people expect, because those were the takes that people were talking about. Like we can even take some of the theories, like Zoro kills Kaido, like that would never happen. Like that would never happen in the story. And it's like there's so many things that people will say, and I guess that maybe with Wano's case, like they got mad that it didn't happen, and that's why. But it's like One Piece has always been like the Gear 5 like controversy. There's no controversy. Gear 5 is amazing. Like it's so cool that Gear 5 took what Super Saiyan was and completely like reinvented it. Like Super Saiyan was all about anger, and now we have a transformation that's built on like freedom, creativity, and just this lunatic laughing all the time. It's so cool. But people didn't like Gear 5 because they wanted Luffy's transformation to look like Super Saiyan 4, and they wanted him to get more serious. And it's like, this is Luffy we're talking about. That a serious Luffy is the death of One Piece's soul. I would never want to watch a story with serious Luffy.
That is so funny that you should say that, because I told Drawk when we were coming up to it, I said, I can tell that we're coming up to Gear 5 soon, or we're coming up to a new transformation or something, I said. And I said, and I'm not looking forward to it because I can't imagine how much it's going to suck when he goes into that mode and gets all serious and killy. I said, that's going to be the worst. And so it was, for me, I was like, oh my God, this is perfect. Like, you did it perfect. You managed to make it so loopy in a way that nothing else would have worked.
And I genuinely believe no one knows how to fight that guy. Like you don't have to make him so powerful. Literally just make him the most confusing person in the world to fight. Like, people will just give up. Like they'll just leave. They're not going to fight that guy.
I've had people who know about it who have good media literacy and only know about One Piece from the edges. Like there's people in their life who like it, who will be like, oh, it's so dumb to have this character who's supposed to be like, he's been an underdog this whole time, who suddenly unlocks a god power to beat somebody. I'm like, no, you don't get it. What they say god power, but it's not like he's standing there like crackling with Gohan lightning, like you've made crossed the line. Now I'm unstoppable, and he's faster than anyone, and he punches so hard. No, he doesn't punch harder. He punches weirder.
Yeah.
And frankly,
I love that. Yeah.
And frankly, like if he was going to be an emperor, and we knew he had to be, he didn't feel like an emperor in Gear 4. That didn't feel like a strong, rubbery boy. Doesn't feel like he's going to demand that level of swagger, but someone who bends the laws of reality, who can reshape physics, who can just distort everything around you, like fighting Bugs Bunny, that sounds like an emperor. That sounds like as big of a deal as the guy who turns into a dragon or the 30-foot tall kaiju woman who commands souls.
That's what I was about to say. That's exactly what Kaido thought. Like, this guy doesn't look like an emperor. And then he just started throwing lightning at him. Like, oh, so there it is. Okay, so this is...
Yes.
Okay.
And drunk. Started throwing lightning
and he was
drunk.
Dude, that was the most confusing 45 minutes of Kaido's life. I know it was.
I was talking to a friend when that chapter came out, and he was like, I love that the past 3 chapters have just been Kaido screaming in confusion.
Do you read any other manga or watch any other anime? We didn't ask you. We usually...
Do we have a usually? Have we had enough guests to have a usually? No, please answer. Sorry. Now that I'm being sarcastic.
We have, actually. Yeah. Go ahead.
Not for anything other than work now, no. Because I'm making like Naruto videos. I need to also watch Bleach some more to do that. But just like leisure time, the last anime that I did leisurely watch was probably Jujutsu Kaisen. But my favorite animes ever, Kaguya-sama, Love is War, Spy X Family. I mean, obviously, except for like, you know, One Piece. These are my like slice of life animes. Like, obviously, not like One Piece or like, you know, anything. Yeah. Full Metal Alchemist Brotherhood's also really good.
Yep.
I'm trying to think. I haven't started Hunter x Hunter because it's not done.
The guy might die before that one finishes, but I gotta give him a shot.
Yeah, that's sad, but yeah, that's why I don't want to. Like, I hate like, you know, George R.R. Martin won't write these last 2 books, and the world's given up on it. And then after season 8 of Game of Thrones, I think, ooh, I'm getting mad all over again. So never mind. I hate stories like that.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah, granted, I will say a lot of the biggest problems with the last seasons of Game of Thrones would have been resolved if the writers hadn't have gotten rid of essential characters from the book that were clearly meant to be in certain places. Like, if you've read the books, you can actually see like where things would make more sense if he didn't cut random characters out, or if the showrunners didn't. So, hey, if he ever does write the books, they'll probably end up better. But he won't.
Yeah, 100% would. I just don't think he's going to
goofy.
do it. Yeah.
I feel goofy because Patrick Rothfuss, the whole Name of the Wind trilogy that has just been a duology for the last 3 million years, and he says that he's finished it, but he's got too much writer's nerves and anxiety to put it out. I wish I'd never started it, because now it'll be a thing I'll never know the end to.
Oh, that is so tough.
I actually do fully agree with you, though.
What, Goofy?
Because like sorry, yeah, you go. Sorry.
Just a good story without an ending is bad. Like that's terrible. I hate that.
It's why before we got pressured to by someone buying the incredible, beautiful, sexy, big black books for my mom, I had never read Berserk as much as I knew I'd love it, because it's so hard to pick up something that you know you'll love that like dude died before it finished.
Yeah.
Have you ever read Berserk?
Either. No, I'll never. I can't. Like Berserk is a different type of story. I think I would ever like. For me, I don't like a lot of So, okay, so there's 2 things that will make me like literally just not read or watch a story ever. There's 2 things. That's graphic depictions of SA and if a dog dies. If you do those 2 things, if you do one of those 2 things, I'm out. Now I like some stories need those things to happen because of, like, for instance, like if you're telling a story about trauma, sometimes you know, especially if it's a good story. Like, I'm not one of those people that think that we shouldn't have stories that don't depict that, because I think that they are extremely important and they can be really great stories. I'm saying I think Berserk for sure takes it too far for me to ever get invested. I'm sure he's telling the best story ever. I'll never read it. I don't know. That's like,
I am gonna tell you, with what you've described, you're not comfortable with. Don't read it. I love it. It's been great. Just don't.
I'm going to tell you, I think you and I are actually cousins. Those are my two things. You kill a dog or have graphic essay. We're done. We're done. Essay in general, I'm generally done.
The books have forced her because she likes the look of the book so much, and they were a gift.
Yeah, I was given 3 of the big, thick black ones that are multi-volume books by one of the squishies. And so I was like, okay, we'll do Berserk next. It's been hard on my soul.
Yeah, I feel for you. I truly do not think I could. I don't think that I could. I would crash out.
I love suffering, so I'm having a great time.
Yeah, he really enjoys it. Aw, Drawk, get rid of the things. He's better with just his little face.
He's so determined. I love him so much.
Drawk, why are you putting things in his eyes? You're ruining him.
Look at him. He's so ready.
So Goofy's never watching JoJo's. I've seen JoJo's, and that's why I have a problem with Araki, though. Like I don't. From episode 1, they're killing dogs, and I was my friend Jason. He has literally had to like strap me to a chair and be like, "This gets good. This is already good. It's just you got to let the dog stuff go." And I was literally like foaming at the mouth, like never.
No wonder Choo Choo's your boy.
No,
yeah, because he didn't die. Like,
he fought the lion and lived.
I got upset when he fought the lion. I was like, if they kill this dog, I'm done. I even said that to Drawk the first time we were reading through. I remembered it this time. I was like, if this dog dies, I'm finished. Like, that's it. And he's like, just read.
My God.
He's determined, but I liked him better with black eyes.
Look, if someone clicks delete your art, all I'll delete is that, because we're near the end anyways. So,
okay.
I think we got to bring it back to Orangetown so we can do our closing segments, because it's 4:30 now. So just so you know, Mugiwara, we do a closing segment section.
All right.
And I'm going to bring it up because it has been laid out for us by our editor and producer, because I can never remember what we're supposed to do in this one. Oh, first of all, let's thank the crew. Thank you, crew tier Patreons, Dancing Viru, Dark A Kuro, Draco Meme, Dr. Jack, Icy Knives, and NX Love. Mugiwara, do you want to pick a number for our random special squishy to thank? This is a number between 1 and 24. Well, I guess between 0 and 25, but from 1 to 24.
18.
Nice.
Oh, I forgot to turn delete your art back on. Well, shame. 18.
Can you please turn
Tree Scott. Thank you, Tree Scott.
Woo! Tree
That's right.
Scott!
This is a tree named Scott. You're used to human Scots, but you've never met Tree Scott before.
Tree Scott is the best kind of Scott, and I know I'm married to a Scott.
So here is our closing segments. First of all, we rank Luffy on the tier list of Luffys. We decided he was on the top of the favorite characters list too many times, so each of us gives Luffy a tier. I think in this arc, Luffy was a solid C tier Luffy, because I grade under the Luffy curve. And on the curve of Luffy, like, he's good, don't get me wrong.
You're not rating
C-tier
Luffy. You're grading the whole.
Yeah, that comes later, but I wanted to grade Luffy because he doesn't get to be in the top 5.
Oh,
yeah, what's
not
the
what
criteria? I need to know. How do we grade Luffy on Luffy?
How did he perform as a Luffy compared to other Luffys? Compared to the other arcs where Luffy is Luffy?
I think I get it. I'm just, because to me, he's just always the same idiot. Like, literally every single arc,
But
I would
sometimes
give him an S
Luffy's
tier.
a better Luffy, and sometimes Luffy's
Luffy's harder, you know?
Oh, just like he's like, you just like that Luffy better.
Yes.
Like, there's no like,
Yes.
okay,
Yeah.
I get it then. Okay,
Yeah.
awesome. Okay. I love Luffy. I mean, he kicked Buggy in the balls. He was trapped in a cage for way
That
longer
was
than
good.
he needed to be. He bonded with the dog. That's a bunch
is
of
a
more
good-
points.
I do love how it just seems like Luffy was having a time while everyone else is taking this seriously. He was just like on vacation here, basically.
literally, and while Buggy's dragging a cannon through the city, blowing up buildings, looking for him. Luffy's just sightseeing inside a cage while Zoro carries him while he bleeds out in the middle of the street. That's the most Luffy thing I've ever heard, to be honest. Like, he could get out of that cage. He's just not.
It's the same thing. I think he could get out.
Like,
he could. I know.
Nami being like, hey, dude, he's bleeding out, and Luffy's like, he said he's got this. He's got it.
Yeah, literally. That's what he said. Is like Zoro is dying on the ground. Luffy's like, he said he got it.
Same thing when the cannonball goes through. He goes, "Oh, I hope he's okay in there." And then they see him, and he goes, "Oh, he's good."
Yeah, literally. Like that's what I'm saying. I got to give him an A. He has never been more Luffy to me, and I love this Luffy. Like he's so stupid and so reckless.
The best reason for an A ever. I'm sorry. This is the Luffyest Luffy.
Oh well, I would say for sure. Oh, it's definitely the Luffyest Luffy. You're trapped in a cage. He's tied in a cage. You can get out of while your first mate carries you while he's bleeding out in the middle of the street. Buggy balls are blowing up. There's a clown that's chasing you through the city. A lion is fighting a dog, and you're just in a cage. You're sightseeing. Like, this city is beautiful. The most Luffy thing he's ever done.
I love it.
That is actually
Drawk, where do you put Luffy?
I just first want to say that they should, the powers that be should take that clip of Goofy, and that should now be the synopsis for Orangetown. All he had to do is add that there's no oranges in Orangetown, and people are like, "Yep, done."
Yeah,
that's the arc. That's what happens.
That's the arc. Okay. I'm giving Luffy. I mean, this is where I realized that I was gonna like Luffy, and it was because Luffy stuck up for Choo-Choo. So normally for how much he did, I would give him a C+, but he's getting a solid B+ for me because he went full on for the dog, and the minute that he did that, I was like, I'm gonna be able to like you. Even though later he eats a goddamn dragon, I'm still angry about it. Wrong, bad.
He's gonna eat animals sometimes. A man can't be obsessed with meat and not eat animals.
Eating meat, but I was glad to see that at least when he trained for a couple of years, that he stopped. Why are you ruining my boy? Just let his determined face speak for
I'm
itself.
just doing some stuff.
I'm gonna give him a B+. I'm gonna give him a B+ here because. And it's all because of Goofy, honestly. Goofy talking about how Luffy
Goofy sold him.
No, he totally sold him. I completely changed.
Yeah, no, I think that's fair.
Yeah.
Wait, how did
so now we're gonna do
start because a bird flew Luffy's dumb ass into Orangetown?
A bird flew over Luffy, and Luffy decided
literally
they
that's
were
how it
hungry
starts.
enough to
The
reach his
greatest arc of
long
all
ass
time.
arms.
The greatest arc of all time. Then. I forgot all about that. I forgot Zoro and Luffy are literally just riding in a canoe, and then this bird, like he jump up, and the bird like catches him in his mouth.
Yes, with his hands, and then the bird puts Luffy's head in its mouth.
Best arc of all time.
And then drops him onto Nami, saving her life. And literally the first thing Nami says here's what I love about Nami being like, I don't want to work for you. Literally the first thing she says when she sees him is, "Oh, boss, you're back to save me from these guys who are after me for robbing them. You got it, boss. Bye."
Best arc of all time. Yeah, I forgot that's how they. Yeah, no, I'm immediately A for me. Love it.
Oh, maybe you weren't ripped off. It's the best arc of all time.
Well,
guess we don't need cocaine.
No. Hang on a second. I was still robbed, and the greatest indecency. Historians will look back on this day. They'll call it the Great Fracture, and it's when my world was torn apart when Mel robbed Whole Cake Island from me. Okay.
This is not a lie. I could see this as the actual story of the future.
Yeah.
So now we're going to do top 5, which I believe the way we do is we do it together instead of having our own list because that would take too long. And I will be corrected if I've said something false.
Except for let's give our guests the first one. They get to pick number 1 on
You
their
get
own.
the first one. Now, it doesn't have to be in order. We're going to pick characters other than Luffy and rank them from best character to 5th best character. And it's any character who does something in this arc. It's just who you enjoy most, who you think adds the most, who you think was the best here. And you get to put the first character in at any slot you want.
Ooh. I'm locking Choo Choo in at number 1 then. That's
Yeah.
what I mean,
Yeah,
I feel like
hell
that
yeah.
wasn't
Choo-choo.
I don't think I was gonna get any pushback on that, honestly.
Yeah,
so
baby. That's the one.
No,
That's
Choo Choo
the
number 1 for sure.
I'm locking it in. At first I was gonna say Buggy, then I was like, no. If I could choose the order, fuck no. Put Choo Choo up there. Put him in, lock him in. Number 1. Lock him in.
That's perfect. I could not be more pleased with that because Drawk would argue with me.
I'm not gonna argue. This is the way it works. You do as you will. You do as you will.
Somebody in the chat.
I'll argue
said
with some
dog
choices.
I think I would put the mayor as number 5. What do you guys think?
The mayor at number 5. I think the mayor at number 5 makes sense
That's
to me.
fair. That's fair.
Yeah, he deserves to be there in my opinion. He does a lot. He's one of the best mayors we found out, especially in comparison to the mayor of Skypiea, who apparently does nothing.
What? He's not a mayor. We found out. We found out that was misinformation that you were
Yeah.
given.
I was so
I know.
mad. I was gonna be so mad if he was the mayor. I'm so glad we got to the bottom of
He
that.
does
That guy's a
nothing.
mayor.
So screw
Oh,
him
man.
as a mayor.
Does
Oh
Gonfall
my
count as
God.
the mayor of Skypiea?
Well, they kind of vote him in later, right? Like in the weirdest democratic election in the history of democratic elections.
Why do you even
Where
have
they're
a
just like,
mayor
I guess
when
you're
there's
God again.
Like, if God is up the street, why is there even a mayor? Like, what are we talking about? Like, if God is literally like, that's insane. What do you decide if God is right next to you?
Well, God again doesn't want to do paperwork, so somebody needs to be like the paperwork
Mm.
doer. Okay,
Leave it
so
Oh,
the
yeah.
poodle dude is number 5.
All right.
Does anyone have another area that they want to
I-
put someone?
Yeah. I'm gonna slap a guy in. I'm gonna put Zoro in at number 3 for pure comedy. He's great. He's doing his best. He's bleeding out. He's upset the whole time. He's constantly unnecessarily showing off how injured he can get. You think this is injured? I'll show you injured.
That's insane.
I love it.
I didn't even know. I didn't know he did that, and I have to add
didn't
that
either.
to my lexicon of Zoro dumb shit that he did. Like, that's insane.
Damn it, number
When I
3. How
read
do
that,
you
I was
feel?
like, what the fuck?
Imagine you're trying to rob somebody, and then they go, "Ha-ha," and they just stab themselves. I'd be like, I'm gonna rob somebody else, I guess.
I'm gonna leave and let this person alone.
Yeah, he's got.
I'm gonna
issues.
rob a normal person.
Yeah, then I would have got on my unicycle. I would have just rode away. I swear, if I was Kabaji, I'd be like, yeah.
You fight yourself. I'm gonna leave.
Yeah.
All right. You agree
Who
with
you want
number
to slap
3?
in next?
You go ahead, Goofy. Choose a new one. Who do you want to shove somewhere?
I feel like we got to put Buggy at number 2. He had the buggy balls, you know. He was, he was going crazy. A lot of funny moments. The arc doesn't happen if he wasn't so stupid, so funny and so stupid. I've never seen somebody want desperately to be such like a big deal, and the story just, I mean, he's literally a clown. Like it's so funny. Like he wants to be, and now he's an emperor. So like, yeah, that's Buggy. I'll lock him in
Would
number
agree.
2.
Which means that
I
once
think he's
again, our girl Nami should be number 4.
Are you sure about that? You sure it's not Kabaji?
Yes.
Okay. A meme we've had on the channel before is my mom has constantly throughout their first read through found new reasons to say Nami would make the top 5 and then kick her off. So I need to tempt fate every time.
In my defense, I forget about people that I liked more, and then she falls off the map. I mean, I don't know what to tell you.
So the prediction we had at the beginning of this episode to bet on was who your favorite character in Orange Town would be. I think you putting Choo Choo at number 1 kind of lets that be Choo Choo's your winner.
Yeah.
All right, guys, that's a prediction.
Oh yeah.
The best character is Choo Choo.
Best character
Favorite
is
non-straw hat. Yeah.
And now we all grade the arc, and you grade it however you want. My mom's decided she grades as an independent story. Like if she read this out of context of anything else, how is it as a story? I rate on the curve of One Piece. Guys, I got terrible news. I like this arc. In a vacuum, I like it. But if I'm grading on the bell curve of One Piece, when, the class is full of Wanos and Enies Lobbies and Whole Cake Islands, I don't think this guy passes. I think it's a D. I think see me after class.
Oh,
that is exclusively because I'm grading on a curve.
Oh,
I'll give you
shit.
that. I mean, if it has to go up against Whole Cake Island and stuff, I'm just gonna grade it like you know, maybe I'm not gonna put it up against Whole Cake Island. That doesn't seem fair. Like it's like I'm gonna put it. I'm gonna say, you know, I give it a smooth B. I think that it was enjoyable. It's still the very beginning, but I wasn't worried about, like, this was before I even thought that maybe I should skip something that was boring. So it was before, like, even the idea of something happening boring even existed. So to be honest, it's not really a compliment because I wasn't bored at all with One Piece. If anything, I was so incredibly interested in One Piece. But yeah, I wasn't bored at all through Orange Town, and it's just a funny time. It's just a fun gag to me. The fact that there's extra importance being that this is the first time two emperors square off in the story.
That's still the funniest thing.
That's insane.
I like that you graded it in its own little world. I always graded as if it was a standalone. And if this was a standalone, I really would have enjoyed reading it. I gotta say that we couldn't talk about it for a long time, but now that I've been writing,
kind of short.
Now that I've been writing a TV show, amateur TV show for the school, I've realized like the beginning is hard. You really got to set some things up and make characters shine, and it takes a bit. So if I was grading this on its own, I'd give it a solid B too.
Yeah.
All right.
Okay.
This is the difference that grading on a curve does to a One Piece arc.
Yeah, because you've nearly failed it.
Yeah, no, it's look, you got to shape up, kid. Like, over there, we got ladies screaming, "I want to live," and this is the best you can deliver. I'm sorry.
Oh.
You find your potential.
But Orange Town isn't even a kid at the school. It's like a kid that's like inside the car of one of the kids you chase to their car. Like, hey, who's this? Your brother? You got to step it up. All right, this kid is getting A's. You got to do better. This he's like 2. He's 2 years old. He doesn't go to the school, dude. Like you just follow this kid out here.
Oh man,
the greatest analogy ever. Oh god,
it's really good. It's really funny. Hey everybody.
Now I feel really bad about you out there beating the shit out of 2-year-olds. Honestly, Drawk.
Yep, no, that's me for sure. Okay.
Picking puppies and taking babies' candy.
Hey guys, speaking of stories that are too depressing earlier, next week's Berserk. So if you want to show up to the Berserk stream, we're reading up to 125 for next week. Aren't you happy for us?
Yay.
Are you talking to me? No, I'm not. I hope you. I hope you have fun. Like, I want the best, but like, I feel like the best for you is to not read it. I think you should read something else. I care about you. Don't do this to yourself. But if you're having fun, whatever. I guess.
Berserk isn't for fun.
Berserk is for learning. Berserk's for learning lessons about self-actualization. It's not about fun.
Oh, it sounds. I think I would rather do magic mushrooms. I think I would rather do magic mushrooms and try to.
You got 2 methods of self-actualizing. Yeah.
Peyote would be easier than Berserk. I'm not gonna lie.
A dead ass. That's what I was about to say. I think peyote would probably be easier. Like peyote with no shaman, just straight. Like you just find it and you do it
Straight
in the middle of your living room.
No guidance, no nothing.
No guidance, no nothing. I would rather be tragically high in my living room than read Berserk.
Mugiwara no Goofy, I gotta say, this might be the most I've laughed on a stream. You've been great, man.
Oh, you guys have been great. This has been so fun. I love it.
We're gonna talk to Melody ASAP.
Yeah, I
I
would love to have both you guys back for a 5-hour stream about the first half.
Yeah. Every talk that we have always goes for like 4 hours, and it always ends with her screaming something and then getting out of the Discord call. Like it's something very abrupt, it's something very dramatic, and then like. So I'm excited to see what that'll be next time.
No clue. I've had a lot of combos with Mel now, but they've all been over text, so I haven't gotten to have that.
Dude, yeah, I can't wait for you to see the lexicon in real time. For you to be like, "Didn't this happen?"
Oh,
She'll be like, "Episode 9, minute 7
Jesus Christ
of the 45th second." Like, I can't wait for that to happen.
That's amazing.
Do you have anything you want to plug beyond your YouTube channel? What Dr. Jack has graciously sent in Twitch chat. Moogie Want to Know Goofy's the YouTube channel, by the way.
Well, thank you, Dr. Jack. And no, not really. I just if you get around to my channel, I appreciate it. But this has been awesome. I would like to plug this show. I mean, it sounds I can't plug it to your own audience like that. That would be nonsense.
That is the difficulty, isn't it?
That is the difficulty. But if you're just a random person, you just found this on Twitch or YouTube or whatever, you just stop by for this 1 second. Don't go. Subscribe.
Oh man.
Best.
The issue is I'm now so excited. I'm now so excited to have you back on if Mel's okay with it, to have both of you for the first half of Whole Cake. And now I just realized I thought about it. I think that's literally like a year and a half away.
No.
Yeah, it probably. Are you going in order?
We're doing one of these a month. Yep. It's a year and a half away.
Oh, yeah. That's fine. I mean, it's all good. We can invent reasons to just like talk to each other. That's all this
absolutely.
Made up, you know?
You make a great point.
Honestly, we do have another. I've only been mentioning this show when we're emailing people, but we have another show that we're going to be doing, hoping to do once a month or so, which is called Party Piece, that you should absolutely be on, because that one's a comedy debate show where the idea is we draft our ideal teams from One Piece for a specific kind of party, and it's really dumb.
Oh,
I love
that's beyond dumb.
I love it already.
We played it with Tekken, and we had a D&D party was the one that got rolled for that one. And I played D&D party against Drawk, who's a DM, and Tekken, who's a DM, who both played D&D. And I was like, I think there's people who fight.
Look,
our next one is honky tonk.
We're going to do the honky tonk party. You guys picked one that's really hard to find a guest for.
Party.
Yeah, we don't know anyone who knows about honky tonk parties.
Like Nashville?
Yeah.
Yeah, I guess. We have a guest. Lucky Lab says we've arranged a guest. I forgot that. I thought we were thinking about one. I didn't know we had for sure.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not a honky tonk expert or anything. I just know snakeskin boots and cowboy hats. That's it. That's literally actually the extent of my knowledge of honky tonk.
Hey, my man, you knew more than me because I knew cowboy hats.
Oh, see? Okay. Yeah, so we're in the same boat. I love it.
Drawk and I get
You knew twice as much as I did.
We're only allowed to use characters from One Piece once, so he and I are down like 200 characters that can't come to the party now.
Oh my god.
It's getting ridiculous. We're reaching deep into One Piece.
We're not holding guests to the same limitation. If they want to play by the limitation, they can, and then they add to the ban list. But to give guests an inherent advantage, they're just allowed to use whoever.
I love it. Count me in. I would love to just have a party with all this. That sounds so awesome. Just coming up with that.
It's
a wicked time. I'm not gonna lie.
It's been really fun to do. All right. We should probably let you go at some day. We've done shout outs, we've done plugs. I'm trying to remember. I'm not good at remembering to do stuff, which is I don't even know this. One of the key points of streaming is remembering the stuff to say. But that's not good at it. I think we're ready to raid now. I think that's a thing. I think that's where we're at.
Is your tea girl on?
What? Yeah, Oak Tea is on. We always raid a girl named Oak Tea Party who draws watercolor pinups because she plays kazoo for you when you raid her.
That's awesome. Wait, whoa. Sick.
Yeah.
That's so cool. I literally said that before I even thought about it. I was like, oh, that's sick. Then I thought about it. I was like, whoa, that's actually super sick. Whoa.
She does a little kazoo jig every time. It's amazing.
Cute.
Oh my god.
All right, everybody. Thanks again for being here. Thanks for watching, everybody. Do we have a special sign off for this show?
I'm not gonna lie, by the way, that's a sick tattoo.
Yeah.
Oh right, we never talked about the art.
This is awesome.
Don't forget to send it to Goofy.
I'm gonna. All right, everybody. Thank you, and until next time.
Squish on squishies.
It's been lovely talking to you.
Like that.
Squish on squishies are hers. It's been lovely talking to you is mine. I didn't say it with enough enthusiasm. It's been lovely talking to you. There we go. We did it. We said the thing. I forgot that you have to wait 10 seconds to raid, so everybody's just sitting in it. Bye.